Okay, we're live. Welcome to the welcome to the latest edition of the Masturbator stream. Where joining us today are two special guests: the returning Shazastaman,
Hi.
or as I like to call Natsu. The other one is Perfection.
Hey there.
And besides that, we have like other people like other people, the Hood Otaku,
Oh, what's up?
and someone who's going to make his return to YouTube very soon. Digital Overlord, or as I like to call Critical Geek.
It's good.
So it's time to shit on Boruto. Oh boy, how where do I start? And yeah, I'll just start with this. If there are people who like Boruto, nobody takes an issue. You're all good people. And if you see something in it that we don't, okay, that's wonderful. You you can enjoy this show. So while we that out of the way, let's just bury this fucking motherfucking show. Anyway, let's start with the timing of when this whole stuff started. So Naruto's manga ended on 2014, but despite the manga ending, Naruto still continued to keep going on, right? It continued to go on. I think the
Yeah.
Sasuke and Naruto fight ended happened on
Uh.
2016,
Well, no. The last episode was in early 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Despite that, it still continued to go on.
Uh-huh.
Where they showed Naruto and Hinata's marriage, the Sasuke little filler that they had. Um, I think they even showed Kakashi's filler. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but and while that was that so Naruto just by the time Naruto just ended, we've gone straight to Boruto, and there have been and like the first thing it started with is Naruto dying and Sasuke like Naruto and Sasuke implied to be dead and the Hidden Leaf village destroyed, which already put people off because these characters just got killed. But even before that, they had a fight. They had a movie fight, the Momoshiki one, where Naruto and Sasuke lost. What's up, Triton? Where Naruto and Sasuke lost, and it was Boruto who saved the day, which was good because it was like a movie. It was like a next generation kind of movie, and we all thought that that is going to be the end, but it's still it had its own continuation series. And the more we watch this, the more we realize this series is not at all good. Does anyone else want to add something?
Well, let,
Uh,
let me go ahead. I'll add something. I think the problem is everyone wanted uh, the previous cast just to have a happy ending. Like
hmm.
they just got through going through hell. Like they just got through going through the fourth great ninja war. Like they earned a happy ending and a happily ever after. So then you immediately jump into, oh well, Naruto's dead now. Uh, Apparently his son is an estranged son, even though Naruto's there for him. Unlike the unfortunate situation that Naruto had to go through, just
Hmm.
a whole bunch of things that messed up that series, and it just got worse as time went on. And then you started right when they're kids, like you put them in an academy. So we just got off from Naruto being like Dragon Ball, where you have all these high level attacks, these god level beings and everything, and then you take us way back to like Dragon Ball, where you could barely do anything. People aren't like having super Sharingan, Renegon powers, and all that. So the tonality of the show and the stakes dropped, which was the first mistake.
And a lot of the characters that they just introduced were completely new characters. And it's like we've gone through this journey with Naruto, as you said, only to have it end with him implied to be dead. But even besides that, It's like, yeah, we're going to replace this character that you have been with throughout the journey. Now we're going to expect you to like this new character who is basically like Naruto, but we'll get to that much later. Um, and as you said, it's like they had an opportunity to end it or at least put it on hold for 15 years, but they started it right after. Around the time people haven't even had the chance to rest, and
Okay.
then they're expected to like this again. Sorry, what?
But yeah, sorry. I would like to ask one question though. Like, what would you guys want it though? Like, would you guys want a Boruto story or a Naruto story?
I could
You know,
Uh,
continue.
Not
answer. I
actually.
could answer that real quick. I mean, I'll be real with it real quick. So honestly, to tell the truth, when the movie came out, right, I would have loved it if they continued where they left off. That's how I'm seeing this right now. The fact that you gave us the same material, it was boring, unentertaining, and it was just ridiculous. I honestly felt like I was watching a whole bunch of filler.
Yeah, but I want if they have to continue it, at least wait till people have this time to rest.
Yeah,
I would have wanted it to not end. Like
I
for all the
mean,
faults with Dragon Ball. Sorry, go on, Salin. You haven't been
you
saying
can
anything.
you can use Super as an example. They didn't continue Z until like 20 years after Z ended. It's like there
yeah,
has to be a resting point, or
Well,
people become
because
really,
fatigued, tired.
really, what I would have wanted, honestly, um,
Hmm.
best case scenario is they should have skipped forward a couple hundred years after Naruto, left
yep,
everyone else alone, and they like just let them live out their lives peacefully, and then had like the descendants of Naruto and Sasuke. Like you don't even have to change the character designs. Just say, these aren't the direct children; they're the kids of the previous generation, and now they're dealing with their own thing. But then on top of that, you have the problem with them being kids, and you should have just started with them being young adults or something, and that way they can be strong without it being ridiculous. Like if they're kids, it's ridiculous. If they're like young adults, people are going to tolerate it more. Like, oh, Boruto, he has super Byakugan from being a Hyuga, or he could still have his karma mark or something that showed up later down the line in the generations. And Sarda, I don't know what you would do with Sarda, but a, a lot of it has to do with setting them as, being on par with the adults while being adults themselves.
Well, I mean, speaking of Sarada, I mean, the issue with Sarada is that she's one of those characters that suffers from the fact that she's a female character in a show that the writer doesn't know how to write female characters. So
Yeah,
when she was created, like some people were just hyping her up for some reason, when they forgot that Kishimoto actually did make this character. So if you look at the current Baruto, it seems like she's being sidelined like we expected.
Well, realistically, hold on. Kishimoto does know how to write some female characters. You forget we have Mei Terumi, who was the Mizukage, and
Tsunade
yeah,
is also a good one.
Tsunade, Kaguya. Well, Kaguya was a bad story, but she was a strong character. Like she was the strongest at the time she appeared. Um, they do know how to write strong female characters. It's just like realistically, Sarada is never gonna really be that strong because she's not a Senju, she's not a Uzumaki, she's a Uchiha. So
Wait,
especially with the fact that she doesn't have a sibling to get eyes from. If she ever did get Mangekyo Sharingan, she's gonna be sidelined anyways because she's gonna go blind. So
I mean,
it's
well,
that.
can't you just take Sasuke's eyes?
No, and then at the same time, um,
Because I thought it had to be somebody you're related to.
yeah, it has. They said it had to be a sibling, so sister, sister, or sister, brother, or whatever. It has to be a sibling for some reason. I don't know.
okay, well, I mean, if you compare female characters of Naruto to like other shows, I mean, these females are not that developed. Like Tsunade was basically sidelined. You said something about that lava user, right?
Yeah, May
Yeah,
True.
yeah. She was also like kind of sidelined. Like they weren't able to give them focus, so that way they develop as characters.
I
And
I
mean,
instead,
mean,
we know the
to be
story. We know the story of Tsunade. I mean, she got decent focus.
to
We
be
know her
fair,
backstory.
y-
We know her
to,
backstory was with Don and her little brother or whatever. We knew
But
that. So going into Shippuden, she went up against Madara, and like the Hokage or the Kage were used to establish how strong Madara was, because
but
basically he's at half power, not even half power. He's
I
like at
just
a fraction of his power, and he's destroying all the Kage with ease.
I
I
mean,
just want to interject for like Natsu's here. Firstly, like the guy was going to finish his point, and the other thing was, I agree with like Natsu. Yes, Sonata was given some level of focus,
mhm,
but she suffers from the limitation of being an Okage, and Okages generally
yeah,
don't get a lot of screen time. They're basically sitting on the desk, and nobody wants to
Yeah,
look
that's
at a
true.
person who is sitting on the desk most of the time. Yes, she fought against Madra, but it was like other Kages too, and she still lost. And
and
after
I
that,
mean,
she has done nothing.
yeah, but
But yeah,
even
continue not to.
yeah, but even that Madara fight happened like like in the war arc. It didn't happen early on. She never really got any focus on that. Like I get what you mean by the character being developed and stuff like that, but she was hardly used much. She was just sidelined. So that's basically my point. She got the basic Rock Lee treatment, in my opinion. Actually, I bet Rock Lee even had more fights than her. But yeah, go on, Silent.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people, a lot of side characters from part one of Naruto got sidelined in part two. They weren't really, other than Shikamaru, they weren't really focused on that much anymore. Like Neji and all those other characters.
That's true, but the female character that got the most focus was Sakura, and we know what happened to her.
And they completely messed that up too because Sakura, as Natsu said, has like the most focus on. Like they had a journey for her
Yeah.
where she is supposed to see her own worth and stop following Sasuke and for obsessing over her. And by the end of the story, she ends up marrying Sasuke, who by that point in time tried to take an attempt into her life and constantly verbally and physically abused her. Put her
But
in a genjutsu.
But with that said, I do agree with Perfection's story idea. Like, I would like it if they based it on the feature where Naruto and Sasuke don't exist. It's better than embarrassing them in fights. Like you guys saw what happened to them in Ishiki fight and stuff like that. Like I don't want to see that. Like that was horrible.
I mean, if they're
Mhm.
gonna kill them, you don't have to depower them. Just have them go all out against a really strong character. Do it in a respectful way. I don't like this depowering shit.
That's pathetic.
Yeah, I agree. They took out. I mean, Boruto fans can say that they gave him Baryon mode. Naruto. They gave Naruto Baryon mode, and apparently that's like the strongest form ever of Naruto, and Naruto basically did play a part in lowering his life span. So I mean, I guess Boruto fans can say that, but
But
I
but didn't he lose Kurama after that? He still
Yeah, but
lost to somebody who gave him a lot of power.
no that
so,
no
so
that. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Master Bear? My bad.
no. You, I was interrupting you. I was going to say like Natsu was going to bring up how that forms out. Like the
Oh,
one thing you think at least he got that power up too, but it's like so someone did a video and that's a video I completely agreed with. Um, Parian mode did suck. I did like the design of it, but at the same time, it was a form that showed up one time. There was an alternative that Naruto probably forgot. That they introduced a new form in the lamest way possible, where he doesn't have any cool attacks and whatever. Like the anime, like Boruto's anime, like I saw the fight scene because it was trending on Twitter. They made it cooler, but in the manga, it was just Naruto punching Ishiki, and he punched him so many times. And for some reason, like it's supposed to take a lot of Ishiki's lifespan away, but it somehow he's still supposed to die before Ishiki. And the form lost in its very first experience, like in its very first appearance. And we brought this up with Vegeta. They gave him a new form just to have him at that point in time. That's what we thought lose.
I
And
mean,
they did the same thing with Boruto. Sorry,
they've
Naruto.
they've done that a lot of times.
Well,
He
oh,
got
is someone else talking?
No.
he got
Okay,
like
so
Super Saiyan and got his ass beat by
no, what I was gonna say is that basically they were trying to final Getsuga Naruto basically, and the same thing happened in Bleach. Uh, Ichigo used his ultimate power, but the trade off is that he'll never have power again. Which I mean, Naruto, he's still a ninja. He's still really strong. He's still probably the strongest ninja in the world. Like he's beyond Hashirama at this point, but that's like stripping Goku of Super Saiyan. Like if they just started a new arc of Dragon Ball Super, and they said, okay, well Goku can never go Super Saiyan again, or he achieved some form that stripped him of all his other forms,
I
and he'll
mean,
never be able to do them again. People are going to be upset because you waited for the character to get this strong and to have mastery over this power, and you God of War him. Like how you start every God of War game, you lose all the previous powers and whatnot through some magical purpose or whatever. It kind of pisses you off because you feel like as a viewer, you earn the right to see the character be that strong.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like what I was saying is at least with Bleach, I'll let you speak, Silent, too. I just want to say this. At least in Bleach, when Ichigo and like used his new form, he cut Aizen in half and into many pieces just by drawing his sword. And with Boruto, like with Naruto, they didn't even have the like decency to just like strip Naruto of that form before he starts getting his ass beat again. He was getting his ass beat with a very new transformation that was introduced in the first episode. But yeah, what were you saying, Silent? Natsu was getting
yeah, I
interrupted
mean,
too, so after
I
you go,
mean,
you go,
what's the
Natsu.
point of introducing those forms if you're just gonna take them away?
Like
Hey,
like Perfection said, it's up for trump card. But sorry, Natsu, go on.
yeah, yeah. Instead of me, I would like Critical Geek to give some input on this, then I'll talk.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like I can go on and on with Boruto, but at the end of the day, if you really, want these characters to be gone and not exist anymore, then just kill them off. Because I can see what they're actually trying to do with this is introduce the next generation of characters to take over. And if that's the point, then the reason why you're not doing it is because and everybody else knows once you kill off those characters, nobody's going to watch Naruto, the next generations anymore.
Yeah, that's a very strong opinion, and I agree with it because I feel like majority of the Boruto fights that we've seen so far have been done with Naruto. Like the best fights in Boruto, like majority of the good fights have been done with Naruto and Sasuke. So them losing powers is kind of like terrible. But have you guys also heard about the latest manga that happened? No, the latest chapter of the manga that happened. Basically, basically made karma broken in that. Uh,
Yeah, we get into that, but
yeah.
it's
But
interesting you brought up like everything that they're doing now is happened with Boruto. Boruto as a character or like the series has pretty much are taking stuff from Naruto. Like Boruto is pretty much like Naruto,
yeah.
except he doesn't have any of his struggles.
Okay.
He has
Yeah.
his own nine tails. He talks and behaves the same way too. Now
Mhm.
he has his own Sasuke. And Tobi Konohamaru is pretty much Kakashi, but he loses a lot.
Okay, but going back to that fight though, with Ishiki and stuff, I do want to say that if you're a Sasuke fan, please don't watch that. That fight was horrible for Sasuke. Like I viewed Sasuke very differently before that fight, but that dude got trashed hard in that fight. And then, well, when it comes to like Naruto, like I know Baryon mode is supposed to be like the strongest form of Naruto, but for some reason I just didn't feel it. It looked like a complete boxing match. Like the animation was great and everything, but I liked the path sixth stage mode the most. Like path of the sixth stage. Like I like that mode the most out of all of his forms because he did a lot more stuff. In this mode, he wasn't allowed to do anything flashy, which made it boring for me overall. And but that's what Boruto is these days. Like they gave him these android absorbing abilities, Like you can't do Rasengan on them or any of that. They're just gonna absorb it or make it smaller, and it's basically a taijutsu fight. I guess people that started missing taijutsu are getting that experience, but I'm not enjoying it that much. I need some flash in it.
Yeah. Sorry, Geek, you were saying something.
No, that's it. You can continue.
Geek,
Yep. Mostly,
you were
I
saying
do
something.
100% agree with that. And
I,
like I said, it doesn't help Boruto when they actually have more of the technology with computers and not more ninjutsu or anything like that. So I understand it's for the next generation, but you're not even putting your effort into this for even making the old generation to watch this. A lot of us around here is because we grew up watching Naruto, in 2002. That's what I liked after, Dragon
And
Ball and everything. And the thing is, like, when you don't put your effort into a good, decent story, it gets really repetitive and boring.
and that too they're depending on, but while they're doing it, they're also like shitting on the fans. You like we said before, like you like so they're showing all those older characters that we grew and love, like ended up loving, and they're just like either not having them do shit or just show up to get their ass beat. One of the prime example is Kono Hamaru. But perfection, you were going to say something. Continue.
no, I was gonna say that they've made a lot of mistakes. Like obviously, they're at the point where they want to be Dragon Ball Z. Like explaining that they even have their own set of androids at this point, so they're definitely trying to be like Dragon Ball Z, but they have the steps wrong. Like number one, you can't introduce these powerful characters and expect us to actually believe that children are taking them on. Oh God, sorry. Uh, you can't expect children to be able to take on these characters that are supposed to be stronger than Kaguya or Madara, because then it makes no
Mhm.
sense. Because it's like, oh, this new generation. I know you're trying to make them look strong, but you ruin my suspension of disbelief when you got a character who he's not even a Guinean yet, or is he a Guinean? He's not even a Chunin, and he's able to throw hands with people strong with people stronger than Madara. This makes no sense at all, and it kind of makes the old generation look bad at the same time, like making the current story look bad. Like this is again why the characters should have been adults, or it seems like they want to still tell the story of Naruto, and maybe there should have never been a Boruto branded story. You could have just told the story of adult Naruto still dealing with the Otsutsuki and facing these powerful characters without trying to nerf him. Like leave him alone. He's supposed to be strong. But and then you could have had the side story of him raising Boruto to eventually be as strong as he is, and you could have had the same stuff happen, like him get the karma mark and have his interaction with Momoshiki. That still could have happened, but it should have been from the viewpoint of Naruto still being the main character and now being like a family man and being an adult and all this different stuff, after a set amount of time. Like give them like 10 years, 10 or 15 years of peace, and let the children be adults, let the story be from his point of view, and you could have fixed a lot of the problems with Boruto.
Well,
And
sorry.
sorry, go.
Well, I mean, speaking of Baruto, did you guys see like how fast he learned a lot of jutsu? Like he has a lot of
Yep.
jutsu. Like this
Yeah.
dude was able to master them so fast. It's crazy. I think he mastered the Rasengan in 3 days, right? Whereas it took his father a week, I think. But that's by using shadow clones and stuff. But this guy learned it super fast, and he already has like elemental jutsus and stuff. So like I don't know, man. He looks like a Mary Sue or Gary Sue at this point. Like, go on.
And people say, oh, Naruto started, like he was able to perform multiple shadow clone techniques when no one else is able to. But there was a reason. Not only Naruto, not only Naruto had like a nine tails chakra in him, which is already immense. But the other thing is, shadow clone technique doesn't is was not very effective. Like there are still ways you can beat Naruto. That is why Naruto needed to learn a new technique. because it was just like a one note thing, and other people were still able to beat him. And as you said, it's like that's what I was like bringing up. Boruto is like Naruto, but he had none of his struggles. He was able, like he was already a genius. He's able to perform lightning releases and wind releases at the same time. And it wasn't just the fact that he's able to learn Rasengan in 3 days. He was able to perform miniature versions of it, something Naruto never did. Naruto, like like you brought this up, like Naruto was not able to properly use a Rasengan. He needed a shadow clone. But another thing is, by the time we reached like time skip, Naruto was not able, like Naruto was able to use like two or three variations of it. I think the giant Rasengan, I think is the most he learned. And even then, even when he like had this time skip, he still was able to, like they still kind of showed him learning other various techniques like Rasen Shuriken, and then the tail beast mode, and that Boruto is able to like do everything Naruto is able to do at a very young age. But the another thing you mentioned, like as Perfection mentioned, is that they're showing these kids outdoing the adults, and that's kind of a slap in the face too. And that is another thing. Naruto had to struggle. And even then, if there are people who are leagues above Naruto that he was able to beat until he had a training with Jiraiya. For example, Kakashi when he was a Jonin, like they showed these Jonin level people as people completely beyond Naruto's reach. Kakashi, Might Guy, Aosuma, and Kurenai, right? Like even though three of those people didn't get a lot of focus, they kind of showed them as people who are leagues above Naruto. Like Kiba, Hinata, they would never be able to beat them. And then you see Boruto, who is able to outsmart the other Jonins at a pretty young age, like those two members of the Konoha Maru Crow Squad. Hell, and that is what like now like what Nuts is going to tell you, and that is like the latest manga. In the latest manga, we just learned that Boruto has more experience or will get more experience than Naruto, despite being in a young age, and then despite the fact Naruto at that point in time competed in a world war. Now Boruto will get thousands of years of experience despite being much younger. What kind of stupid shit is this?
Yo, Critical Geek, you wanted to say something, I think.
I mean, mostly what they're just basically doing is they're like, not putting effort into this at all. And it really is a shame because these characters and the parents like learned the ninjutsu and it took them a long time to actually learn this, especially Naruto. Naruto was actually training with, Jiraiya over the times. He didn't get like mostly a little bit more powerful until Naruto Shippuden. And the thing what I don't like about this is what they're pulling is that they're giving Boruto anything he wants, and it's just there's no creative activity or anything like that. Nothing built up or anything. You're just giving anything to these characters, and it's pathetic.
Yeah, and like other thing is, and I'll use Dragon Ball Z as an example for this. Gohan was the son of Goku, right? He was a completely
Yeah,
new character, but he didn't just like become the next Goku instantly. Like, yeah, he also got his power up way too quickly. But he had an year to train with the strongest creature on Earth at that point in time. But besides that, he was a half Saiyan. And they've already established that half Saiyans are stronger than normal Saiyans. But even despite that, even after training with Piccolo, Gohan was still a novice. He didn't have a lot of experience. But he didn't, even then, when he like was able to shoot Masenko and whatever, he still
yeah,
wasn't the main character. He still wasn't able to beat any other character. They still needed to depend on Goku. That was the whole purpose of like Super Saiyan 2. That is Gohan finally reaching his potential. He beat a main character. Sorry, he beat a main villain after all the journey we witnessed with him. Boruto, on the other hand, is already stronger than Naruto, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
had yeah, like he is already stronger than Naruto. He didn't have like two arcs as a side character. He just became a main character too quickly.
Yeah, it's really a shame. And one of the things that Perfection brought up is like, Boruto tried to pull the Dragon Ball Z, and unfortunately they failed with that completely. You didn't know what you were doing with this when you went in. Like right after the Boruto movie, I think what they should have done then is just say, okay, let's take about 3 or 4 years and maybe come back with another film, and then decide to do an anime. You rushed this, and it was the wrong thing to do.
Perfection. Do you got anything to say about this?
I think it's like it's weird. That's all I can say. It's obvious that they wanted Boruto to be the Gohan. Like like pretend like if Dragon Ball Z had actually followed Gohan after the Cell games like Toriyama supposedly wanted. This is probably what you would have gotten, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff is busted, and this is what you get when you have the main creator just hand off his baby to someone else that doesn't know how everything is supposed to work. Because karma mode is kind of broken, and it's atrociously broken. But I see what they were trying to do here. Like they're trying to come up with something that's more broken than dojutsu, like more broken than Rinnegan, Sharingan. Well, what's that other one that Momoshiki or
Byakugan.
yeah, all that. They're trying to come up with a power that's more broken than that, even the Jinchuriki powers, and they basically found it in the karma mark. I'll
But
give them this. It's creative. I mean, oh, you're strong, but you're stronger because you're pulling on the experiences of other people for 1,000 years. So they basically just mashed together everything in anime and American anime. So they just said, look, you got all the Naruto powers, all the Dragon Ball powers, and just for good measure, we're gonna basically make you the Avatar and say that you're pulling on the power of the last Avatar.
true.
I
Doesn't
agree with
Avatar
that.
have like the same power though? Like he does the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, if he's pulling on the experiences of
Okay.
all the past people for like 1,000 years, he would definitely know all their jutsu
Yeah.
just because of the karma mark, theoretically. So, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you're right about that. But to me, that's lazy writing though, because that gives him an excuse of giving Boruto any jutsu he wants. So like, the reason I call it very lazy is because I feel like in part one, Naruto and Sasuke really had to train hard to become stronger ninjas and stuff like that. But then the next generation, all it takes is just this karma mark that, in my opinion, Boruto didn't even deserve, because Naruto basically gave him the power to do the Rasengan, and all of a sudden, like, this talented dude who can basically master any jutsu has this power to gain 1,000 years of experience fighting experience, like 1,000 years of fighting experience, and then all of a sudden be capable of being like a god of the show, in a sense. Like, now, if Naruto and Sasuke were like demigods, this dude is like straight up the top of the food chain character, and by the time skip, he's going to be way above Naruto and Sasuke. uh, it's not even funny. I mean, they nerfed them. They already nerfed those two characters. But then they made Baruto even more OP, which is basically, I think it throws dirt on the Naruto fans. Like, I
Yeah, I
feel like
agree with you on
I,
that.
I feel like it throws dirt on Naruto fans now, like people that basically follow this series. Like, after going forward, like, the only people that are gonna actually like this are people that are looking forward to the potential of Baruto and Kawaki. Basically, Kawaki, by the way, is like a big character in this too. So what they could have done by keeping Naruto and Sasuke powerful, what they could have done is built like a team of strong characters. But instead, we're gonna be focused on two characters, which is Baruto and Kawaki.
And yeah, as you said, and like this is another thing because the one person who suffered from this is Konohamaru. Because you've seen this, like Konohamaru was a character present from the very first chapter of Naruto.
Wait, hold up. Who is Kohan Amuro? Like, is he relevant?
He's
No,
Well,
no,
yeah,
that
no.
makes this even
Yeah,
more sadder.
yo, that I'm just joking about that. I know
it's
he's
funny.
relevant, but
It's
wasn't he
funny,
supposed to be
guy.
like the next Hokage after Naruto and stuff? Like, you see how he's being treated? Like, oh my god, bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
That
he basically leads the new Teen Seven. You know.
That's it. He's
And
yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
no, no, no. I was just going to say, like, the fact that you even said this makes this even more sad. Like, continue.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember Kakashi, right? Like Kakashi
Yep.
was the master of the Team Seven of his own, right? And he was
Yeah.
more relevant than Koan Armor. I mean, I can't even say his name right, but whatever. Right?
Konohamaru. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. Because like, see, he's not that memorable. He's not that memorable. I can't say his name that right.
God
So
damn.
yeah, so so Kakashi was, I mean, more relevant than him, and it's kind of sad that he's being treated horribly. Like basically, the whole Team Seven is being treated horribly. Like we haven't seen Mitsuki do that much. We haven't seen Sarada do that much. Like I hear Sarada fans say that she's been forgotten basically. So they're just focusing on Boruto and Kawaki at this point, and then they got these villains like Code and stuff. So it's kind of sad that they're focusing on two characters, and this is the issue that Naruto Shippuden also had. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so this is like the issue that Naruto Shippuden also had. So it's like all the bad things that Naruto Shippuden did, Boruto's done.
Yeah, and at least Naruto introduced these characters in the strongest way, like Neji, Gaara, Rock Lee, Shikamaru, who even despite how like Naruto Shippuden just like ditched these characters, Shikamaru was still kind of like the relevant one, and Kakashi was still given a decent amount of focus. Sakura was given a decent amount of focus, even though they like completely shitted on her character arc for the sake of fan service. But yeah, like what I was going to say about Konohamaru, and I'll compare it with Kakashi too, because that's basically what he is. In the original Naruto, Kakashi was like the standard bearer. Whoever is stronger than Kakashi was a huge threat, like Orochimaru. They showed Orochimaru like being the one even Kakashi cannot beat. And the person Orochimaru even lost to was the third Okage, who was considered the god of shinobi at that point in time. But even then, Orochimaru had to be nerfed for Naruto to be able to beat him in a fight in the Shippuden arc. With fucking Konohamaru, they had he like as I was going to say, he was introduced as the grandson of third Okage. He was in the very first chapter, and after Naruto, you could see him as the one to succeed Naruto because he basically does the same thing. He didn't have the nine tails chakra in him, but he was able to perform the multiple shadow clone technique that only Naruto can at that point in time. He has like he learned his grandfather's and his uncle's jutsus, and that would make him like, and his grandfather, as I mentioned before, was the god of shinobi at that point in time. He was the most powerful character that they had. Asuma was still a pretty decent powerful character. He was a Joni, and like you would think by the time he grows up, Konohamaru would be like he was already a genius beforehand. He beat up pain, like those six parts of pain where one of them is able to like absorb chakra.
Yeah,
Konohamaru was able to beat him at a pretty young age when other people struggled to do that. The only one who killed a the only one who killed one of the six parts of the pain was Jiraiya. And Konohamaru was able to beat him, so he had a lot of potential. And they brought up who do you call it? Yeah, Konohamaru. They aged him up. That would instantly make him one of the most powerful characters alive. But and even the series treats him as a powerful figure. Every one of us knows he's a powerful figure. But the way they present him, like they say that he's powerful, but the way they present him is like he's like some scrub. He's still not able, like he has his grandfather's jutsu, but he never uses them a lot. Like the only character he's able to beat is Jugo and some random no names. And that's sad. Like he's supposed to be stronger than Boruto, but somehow Boruto's stronger than him because Boruto's a god now.
well, I mean, he doesn't really have any genes that's gonna help him succeed in the show because apparently you need some sort of Kekken Genkai to be powerful, right?
He has those too.
I always viewed him as like a Naruto without Kurama, But now that I think about it, Kurama is gone from Naruto as well. So what is he now?
I mean, Naruto is stronger for different reasons. I mean, he's a Uzumaki, aka a Senju, so or a direct descendant of the Senju, and a direct reincarnation of Ashura. So he was going to be strong regardless. It's just he had to have a lot of hard work to get there. But yeah, Konohamaru did get it bad.
He got it bad, and with Kakashi, Kakashi was evil. Like Kakashi was given some shine here and there, but in the original Naruto, he was like one of the strongest characters they had. Like that's why I'm brought up Orochimaru
But
because the moment. What?
sorry to cut you off, but you know why Kakashi was the strongest character, right? It's because of the Sharingan. I mean, he did have intelligence and stuff, but he had the Sharingan. He was known as the copycat ninja.
Yeah,
Konohamaru doesn't have any of that, so that's the thing.
but you find out that he's able to like even without a Sharingan and a Nine Tails, he's able to perform jutsus more stone. Like like Konohamaru knows all forms of like style, like earth style, fire style, water style, whatever. And
Yeah.
and that's one thing why third Okage was known for. He was able to form all natures of chakra, like Konohama, like Kakashi did, but he didn't had a Sharingan, so that made him a god in a certain way. With Kakashi, that's what I was like bringing up is Kakashi was like a Jonin character that already made him strong, and that's why he like even like with however he got strong at that point in time, he was one of the most powerful characters ever. That is why when you know a character who is stronger than Kakashi, you like, oh shit, this guy's pretty strong because Kakashi was like a standard bearer. Anyone who is stronger
Exactly.
than him or beats him is a threat. With Konohamaru, anyone who beats him is not a threat because you find out Boruto and Sarada and fucking Kawaki can just like beat those people. Not even Sarada, Boruto and Kawaki.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what made Kakashi so special? What made Kakashi so special? What made Naruto so special? What made Sasuke so special? And what makes Gohan and Amaru so special? I'm still
Okay,
confused.
so with Kakashi, it's basically what Masturbator was saying.
Hmm.
What like he was the Minato out of his group. Especially that's special considering that Minato was his leader or the head of his group,
Okay.
basically. So he was strong without the Sharingan. It just made him even more ridiculously broken, like it was said. That's what made him special. But he was like I said, he was special before the Sharingan. It just made him better. With Sasuke, he was the last of the Uchiha, or so he thought. He was definitely the last Uchiha in the Leaf Village, so that made him special. Plus, he was the rival to Naruto. Naruto being the main character, being uh, the underdog, basically, not having anything going for him, at least from what he knew. Like now that we know everything, like he had a lot going for him. He was really going to always be the strongest. It just took him a little longer to get there. Uh, let's see, who else did you say? That was Kakashi, Sasuke, Naruto,
And then Gohan and Amaru.
Konohamaru.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it bad because he's always going to be in everyone else's shadow.
Okay.
Unfortunately, at this point, he's always going to be in Toby's shadow. He's always going to be in Naruto's shadow. They haven't done a good job of making him stand out and be unique in anything.
Right.
He's just like he's basically a hodgepodge or a hodgepodge or an amalgamation of everyone else, but to a meh degree. Like he's a jack of all trades. He can do a lot of things, but he doesn't do those things really well. It's just like I can do the Rasengan, but not as good as Naruto or Boruto. I can do the Ash Jutsu and everything my granddad did, but I can't do it as well. So it's like, man, you're just a step above a background character at this point.
And like because like this is like another thing. I'll tell you what was special about Kakashi. But Geek, you want to say something before I say something?
Yeah, so I would explain why to me I think Naruto is special is because, when I used to watch Naruto, Naruto was more like an outcast. Like he had to work for everything he had to do. His goal was to become Hokage. He achieved that. And to me, that's what makes the show so unique is that it has those moments in it that Dragon Ball can't even pull off here and there. I'm just gonna say that completely. And it's a shame Boruto can't do the same at all. Instead, you give us over the power characters. You don't put no effort into it, and you just give us copy and paste no jutsu, and it's a shame.
And yeah, like what I was saying, like saying I'll start with like the four characters you mentioned because like the question was asked to me, right? Um,
Yeah. It's
so
gonna be
with
to
Naruto,
everyone. Go on.
I'm okay then. I'll
Yeah.
say this too because I'm one of the people.
Yeah. Go on. Go
So
on. I'm sorry.
so I was going to say like with Naruto, as Critical Geek said, he was like all of us at that point in time. We like I'll say this. I wasn't a genius, right? I wasn't a genius. I was an outcast to a certain degree. People picked on me, and the teachers kind of picked on me. And I see this character who is pretty much the same as me, and he had this big dream. And there's already the relatability part of this, and everyone hated this character. Nobody liked to be around him, and because of his big dream, and like he worked hard for everything he got. And by the time Naruto had a great journey of being this class goof, like the class clown, to being to be an Okage. And that was a journey you saw and you were there with. And some of the things, even if they got ridiculous, it was something that was still that was still digested. Sasuke was Sasuke was a genius of the class, but I'll tell you why it worked with him. And but like you also like you find out that he is like the last of his clan, and you kind of like sympathize with him. And here's the thing: a lot of people like shit on Sasuke now because Naruto Shippuden had him just be this edgelord, but in the original arc, Sasuke was kind of like Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. He was an introvert. He was a bit cold, but he was still a friend. Like Sasuke sacrificing himself for Naruto, giving up his vengeance and whatever, just to save Naruto was a touching part. And they kind of showed the friendship here and there. But Sasuke was a genius, but that didn't make him an overpowered character. He was able to learn the fire style technique, but he was still played around by Kakashi, right? Like he was Kakashi was able to beat him, Haku was beating him, and he had to work his way up to the top too. Um,
Correct.
Yeah.
with Kakashi, as I said before, Kakashi was like the standard bearer, but he was already cool from his very first experience. You you saw him play around with Naruto and even Sasuke at that point in time. He was just holding back and he was like messing with them. And he had this cool factor in him, but he was at that point in time a great character too. He was like a proper teacher. And then you find out about his past and you find out that he was a bit depressed, but he also Kakashi also had a journey of overcoming those losses and PTSD that he got, and that was through being with Naruto and Sasuke. That is why he was able to go toe to toe with Obito. Like even the like losses Kakashi got was kind of explained that Kakashi had a death wish, and once he finally started to get over that, he was getting stronger, picking up more W's. I'll send you a video about this later.
Okay.
Konohamaru. Konohamaru was at that point in time like Naruto. He also wanted to be Hokage, but he was like this. At first, he started off this parody thing, like he's like a junior Naruto, and you also find out that he's like the son of the grandson of the third Hokage and whatever. But by the time we reached Naruto Shippuden, Konohamaru was able to not only perform multiple Shadow Clone technique that only Naruto could do, but he was able to perform Rasengan and Giant Rasengan, who only Naruto could do, besides Jiraiya and some other people. but he was able to master several Hokage level and Jonin level techniques. And that's what I said. Like when he fought one of the six parts of pain, he was able to kill him, despite that feat only accomplished by Jiraiya at that point in time. So he had a potential.
Mhm.
You thought he's going to be like the next main character, and you could buy him too because you've also seen him do these things. So like the reason I like Konoha Maru so to a certain degree is because of the huge potential he was supposed to have, and then they just like completely made it redundant. In Boruto, in Boruto, um, not only Boruto started off as some genius, as some overconfident genius with daddy issues, but he also became a god. And if like you could do something with his daddy issues, but they already did that in the movie, and then you expected to follow through it throughout an entire anime and manga series. And not even that, like by the time he's got over his one conflict that he had, they had to give him a new Sasuke, who's called Kawaki now, and he was already a genius and a god. So like people are excited, like and like Boruto had no struggle. He was a character that was introduced right after they were done with Naruto. They've already gotten over all of his issues by that point in time. But then they just why does like what do you see in Boruto is
Okay,
what I want to see.
okay. So before we get into that, I want to also like explain my point of view, like because I asked this
Hmm.
question, so I wanted to explain why I asked this question. Because
Yeah.
the reason I asked this question was because like I wasn't like I love what you guys said about these characters. Okay, first off, I love what you guys said about these characters. But my point was to talk about their potential as well, like what made them special due to their potential. And I feel like Kurama played a big part in Naruto's life, and Kurama is what made Naruto special. Yes, he has Sage Moon and stuff like that, but I think Kurama was the main thing that basically drove his character, in my opinion. Like we knew Naruto because of Kurama and Junk. So now for Naruto it's Kurama. For Sasuke it's the new Rinnegan, and without that Rinnegan, he's not gonna be able to do those teleporting jutsus that he used to do. Uh, and he's not gonna be able to control his Amaterasu like he used to. And
Yeah.
then with Kakashi, it was definitely the Sharingan because if you guys know like that DMS Kakashi, the
Hmm.
double Rasengan, nah, the double Sharingan Kakashi, was like by far one of the most OP characters in the show. Uh, because he could use the Susanoo, he could also warp other people to different dimensions, I guess. So
Yeah.
I feel like what made Kakashi special was the Sharingan because he was known for that. Yes, he was like known for other things before the show, right? But people knew him for the copycat ninja that he was. So they stripped away that Sharingan from Kakashi, making him just a regular character. Like in Boruto,
Yeah.
he's not even there much, right? And they stripped Kurama from Naruto. They stripped Rinnegan from Sasuke. These characters in the end became who? Kohona Hamaru, basically, because
Oh God.
they got
Yeah.
nothing. And I understand what you're saying about Kohen Amaru because like he was like the grandson of the third Hokage, and third Hokage was a genius, right? So they could have
Yeah.
made him a freaking genius, made him do more juices than he does. But right now he's like a Naruto shadow clone. so so that's the issue. Like there's nothing special about him. That's my point. That's
He
my
went
point.
from Naruto Junior to Kakashi Junior,
Yes.
and Kakashi with none of his cool, not even like cool factors, but Kakashi who takes a lot of L's, who never wins a fight on his own. But yeah,
But yeah, what was that? Like, did you guys want to add anything to that before we segue into another topic?
um, I don't think like yeah, I think everything that has been said was
Okay.
already been said.
Okay.
But yeah, like
All right.
okay,
So, what was your question about Boruto?
me.
Yeah. You asked a question about Boruto before this.
Yeah, like what do you see in Boruto? I'm not just like talking about the series. I'm just talking about the character. What makes him unique
Okay.
besides having fucking? Oh, by the way, he also has his Sharingan too. It's called Jogan, and they didn't specify what that ability is. But some people said it's what will allow him to control all the Otsutsuki power. But he already has it. Oh yeah, Momoshiki is pretty much Boruto's Nine Tails. So he
Pretty
has a
much.
Sharingan, a Nine Tails, and a Sasuke.
Um,
Yeah, go on. Great, go. You wanted to say something? Go
uh,
ahead.
I wanted to like say something because I had a theory of this. When they actually show the future of Boruto, and you actually see Boruto fight Kuwaki, and at the time where he you see a sword, and I was thinking to myself like, okay, well that kind of looks like Sasuke's sword. So is Sasuke dead? I wouldn't be surprised if they actually killed off that character. You know, makes a lot of sense if they decide to do that. Then I could see them like maybe taking better steps to Boruto. But honestly, I do believe it's way too late for that. And even if you do decide to kill off main characters or anything specifically like that, to me, Boruto is just like overpowered with everything he has. So it just comes to the point where it's like no effort, no entertainment, and it's just like I said, it's just ridiculous. And it's really a shame because I wanted to really like Boruto, but when you do this, I'm sorry, you can't save this.
Yeah, perfection. You wanted to say something about this? I guess not.
Yeah, I
I
think
Okay.
think it's
Okay, I guess not. It's okay. So, I do want to say something about this though. So, like, when it comes to Baruto's character, the biggest issue I have with him is that I think they're forcing him on us. Like, he's like, I don't think he's really accepted by a lot of people, but they're
no,
just
he's
giving him
not.
these different new techniques and powers, and kind of forcing him on us. Like, I know, like, a lot of Baruto fans say that these Naruto fans hate Baruto because of how Baruto treated Naruto early on. I understand that he developed as a character probably like he changed a lot as well. Like he became he went from a brat to like more of a serious character.
Yeah,
I get that, but at the same time, his development had been too fast, and he learned a lot of things, like a lot of techniques too fast. So I feel like as a character, he was basically forced upon us, and you can't do that with fans of a show that was very successful. Like you can't win me over with Naruto. When Naruto, in my opinion, was a fantastic main shonen character. Like not just in his own series, but like overall. I feel like I relate to Naruto more than Goku do.
Well,
exactly.
well, here's the thing. Like I agree with you
Mhm.
for part of it, but here's where it could have went wrong because it's a lot of other anime series where they have the character learn something or learn how to control their power way too late. Like they take forever to get to the point where the character actually feels like he's at least is in the same ballpark as the antagonist. So, for example, like watching Fire Force, I kind of got annoyed with it a little bit because it's like Shinra was always behind the evangelist. Like the evangelist would have complete control over their Edola burst, and they would just kind of crap all over Shinra. I'm like, okay, well, you're telling me Shinra is strong and he's this like valuable power known as the Edola burst, but you're never really showing it to me. Like you're doing it too little too late. Like you're making him look weak, and you always want to kind of balance how you make a character look strong. Like you don't want to make them look like they're too ridiculously strong in comparison to everyone else, but you want to like have them shine. So they just need to find a good moderation on how to have Boruto shine in relation to everyone else. Um, like in my opinion, one thing that they should have done because like he's named after Neji in a way, like in like Bolt and all that. It's some kind of way it has a relation to Neji.
Yeah.
So I was like, due to his lineage, like Hinata is like the strongest Hyuga right now and like the master of gentle fist. I'm like, even though Boruto doesn't have the Byakugan yet, he should honestly. He should at least be able to activate it and not have to have the same thing go on as Hinata, like having like the purple eyes all the time. But he should be able to use the Byakugan and he should be able to use the gentle fist techniques that Neji was able to use because maybe Hinata taught it to him. or maybe maybe it came natural to him or something. Maybe you could show that instead of growing towards being like Naruto, maybe Boruto wants to grow up to be closer to his uncle. Like maybe he wants to be like his uncle because he hears like these stories of like his genius uncle that was the master of their family's top taijutsu or whatever. It's different ways that they could have made Boruto stand out. Like just imagine him doing the 69 palms technique to take out a main antagonist. That would make everyone love that. That would be Neji nostalgia. That would make him really look like a genius and like give him uh like a goal to reach or a bar to reach instead of like where they've gone right now.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah,
do
but
agree
like,
with you on that.
yeah, but I want to ask you this: like, do you feel like Baruto's progression is realistic? Like, do you think his progression is okay? Like, do you think all the jutsu he learned so far are reasonable?
Uh, yes, he's learning things too fast, but again, I don't want him to take forever because again, that's the problem of coming after Naruto. When we're used to seeing all these high level, high power techniques, you kind of don't want to go back to the small stuff. So it's just a problem. I don't know. Maybe slow him down a little bit, but
Okay,
I don't know.
I would like to. I would like to add something to that. I think it would be best if they just give us the time skip already, so that way we can see like a teen version of him knowing a bunch of these jutsus instead of just giving him all these things right away. Like I kind of agree with you. Like how Naruto had to train for everything and stuff. It took him days and stuff like that. We don't need all that. I would like to see him train a little bit, but like do not spend a long time doing it. Um, but I just feel like a lot of the juices that he's been given are just handed to him. Like Momoshiki was literally handed to him, and I feel like there should be a limit to how much he learns eventually. Like now, what I liked about Naruto was that he kept it simple. He knew like 2 or 3 jutsus and stuff, and he just kept doing them. But with Boruto, we understand that he's like the prodigy. He learns things a lot faster, and he has a lot of techniques and stuff like that. Uh, there's no issue with that, but at the same time, I don't want him to overshadow the other characters so much that the other characters feel irrelevant. Like if he's gonna learn like whatever Sarada can do, or whatever even Shikamaru's son could do and stuff, then what's the point of having those as characters? That's
Well, I
like,
mean, that's the problem too, because eventually, I mean, that's just a problem with Sarda. Like she's the healer class. She's not gonna be that strong. Like she can inherit what Sakura does, like the Tsunade jutsu and the enhanced super strength, but that really doesn't matter. Like in the grand scheme of all these planet busting, galaxy destroying jutsu, these like everything that they're able to do, because even eventually at one point Naruto exceeded Sakura in healing because he could heal himself, he could heal other people, he could replace limbs, he could do all the ridiculous stuff he wanted
right.
in his stage mode. So eventually Sakura became irrelevant. The only difference here is it happened a lot sooner to Sarada. And like if Sarada all of a sudden became like if all of a sudden she got some ridiculous new powers, they're gonna feel like ass pools. Again, like it's not much that they can do because they can say, "Oh, she got a new level of the Sharingan." So what? Oh my God, she got a Mangekyo Sharingan. So what? What is she gonna do? A Mataratsu? We've seen that a million times. It's just unfortunate because she's on this different growth path that we've seen time and time again. So it's like either you keep her on a realistic growth path, which is still going to be weaker than what Boruto can do, especially with his given abilities and Momoshiki, or you just give her ass pulls and then you go with everyone hating her because she literally gets everything gift wrapped for her. So that would be a problem. Like she can't get the or she can't get Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. She can't get the Rinnegan. She wouldn't be able to have a Susanoo. So it's just like, man, it's like that's just her luck. She drew the bad cards, I guess. You could have her be a better thinker or a better tactician or something. You could, like, I would love to see her be like Instead of Shikadai being like Shikamaru, I would love to see Sarada be like a Shikamaru, like be able to use her Sharingan for better techniques and strategies and tactics and whatnot, and maybe learn from him or something. I don't know. I like it's nothing that you could do with Sarada at this point. She's just trying to be Sasuke 2.0 without being a reincarnation of Indra. So
And
it is what it is.
to add to Perfection's point, like while you're seeing Naruto become this god and he's able to master several sharing like or several versions of Rasengan and basically now getting Otsutsuki power and basically getting his experience. And by the way, now Boruto is able to perform two styles of nature chakra, like lightning style and the wind style, while Sarada is mostly. I think she just got her two Tomoe Sharingan. Before that, it was only one Tomoe. So she's just getting to Chunin exam Sasuke level. Like that's a pretty slow progress, but yeah. And you know what? Like other people say, "Oh, what do you want?" Then you want. I'll read Cyber Ninja Gaming, but they said that what do you want? You don't want Boruto to be like a Naruto clone, but then you like also take an issue with him being a genius. Look, that's one of the problems with the series too. It's they're either like they're not sure if they want to make Boruto like a Naruto clone or his own character. Because yes, Boruto is a genius, but he's still a Naruto clone because he does everything that Naruto does. His entire personality is like that of Naruto. And like like you either like as Perfection said, have him be like this, have him be like Meiji, but he can master like some of the things his father is able to do, but he can still be a different character. What we're talking about is that he's a genius, but it doesn't make him a character. It's just the things. It's just reflects on his abilities, and he even that he just got it on a silver platter. But before that, there are two things I want to say. Thanks for subscribing, Lord Triton. And as what Cyber Ninja Gaming said, it's not a shonen anime without the power of friendship. Watching the oh, that's another thing. Like Naruto had an entire journey where he had to
Yo,
by the end of the arc he's able to befriend Ninetales. He made Ninetales good. Before
yo,
that Ninetales was always a wrench. And I can see Momoshiki do the same thing.
yo,
Sorry.
I would like to shout out to that dude that basically talked about power of friendship. Is that a dig at Fairy Tail by any chance? Because I love Fairy Tail, all right, and it has a lot of power of friendship. Anyways, anyway,
No.
it is yeah. Going back to that topic, I mean, it looks like from Perfection's point of view that Sarada has zero potential in becoming relevant in the future. But we know another character that's going to be relevant is going to be Kawaki. What are you guys' thoughts about Kawaki?
He's a Sasuke clone. And
He's
that's funny
basically a
too because that
Sasuke
is what
clone.
Sarada was supposed to be. But they just gave it to Kawaki. But yeah, continue. Geek.
No, I just said he's a Sasuke clone.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Well, because like all like the stuff that he has, like sort of like Sasuke used to, and to me, it's not original at all. I see like most of these characters that try to come up with new topics and they fail on it. Like even like with the powers and everything.
Uh,
So yeah, continue. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird though. Like, even though Baruto is supposed to be like kind of different, um, they still have like these two bros who want to fight each other. Like,
Yep.
actually, Kawaki and Baruto are considered as bros, right? Like, Kawaki is basically like the like one of the adopted childs of Naruto. So they
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Naruto as the father, and they got Baruto. Baruto is basically the father. Now, Baruto is not the father. Now, hold on. Hold on. Naruto is the father of Baruto, and then
Yeah.
Kawaki is like the adopted son of Naruto. So that's how they got Naruto involved in this whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
because Naruto is the name. He's the big man.
Yeah, it's true,
And
and I do like it how like Naruto like shows a lot of a love and introduces to Kawaki to the family and everything like that. And like you actually see that real side of Naruto where he actually tries to actually care for him, even though Kawaki has had a really horrible childhood, and it's sad for what happens to him.
Yeah. Well, hey, what are your thoughts about Kawaki perfection? I guess he's not here.
So
He's there just to take the place of Sarda. I think what happened, and this is just my opinion, I think they made Sarda to be the rival to Boruto, but then they forgot like things have changed, and Boruto can't necessarily fight Sarda like they would want to have a rival fight Boruto. So then they just threw Kawaki in just cause, and that's also why Sarda's probably been relegated to the role she is.
and yeah, so why I said it's a Sasuke clone. Let's compare Kawaki with Sasuke, right? He's an orphan just like Sasuke, as you said.
Yep.
He he's he's mostly a cold and rude character like Sasuke, and like he was groomed to be like a replacement body for an evil character, just like Sasuke was, because Orochimaru was trying to steal his body, and here Ishiki is trying to steal Kawaki's body.
Copy and paste no jutsu.
Yeah, and you see Kawaki learn to care about other people, but by the time we reach a time skip when they both are teenagers or like grow up, you see Kawaki as like the evil character. And like with Sasuke, because by the time we reach a time skip, that Sasuke and Naruto are going to have the final
Right.
fight, right?
So yeah.
They, they're going to have the final fight, and Sasuke would be like the evil one. And I think he's going to be someone Naruto would try to save. And with Kawaki, it looks like he's going to be evil because he is implied to have destroyed the Hidden Leaf village and killed Naruto and killed Sasuke, possibly. But he is implied to have destroyed the Hidden Leaf village, but he's going to be the evil one, right? Because he just rejected the whole notion of being a shinobi. Sasuke, on the other hand, wants to destroy Hidden Leaf village, even though he got around to not do it, but he wants to kill all the Kages by the end of the story. So they're both like like Kawaki is going to be the evil figure by the time we reach a timescape, and he's already set out to be a replacement body for someone else or a sacrificial one. So he is Sasuke. That is great. That is basically Sasuke.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what we're gonna be having is basically Baruto Shippuden.
Pretty
Yep.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
um, my thoughts on Kawaki is like I don't know, man. Like I seen some scenes of him, and they were cool, intense. I mean, one of my issues is that he actually beat Ishiki. I don't know. Was his name Jigen or Ishiki? I think his name was Ishiki.
Ishiki.
Yeah.
Ishiki.
So like the way he beat him was like he used like a shadow clone jutsu to deceive him and stuff, and that to me was like kind of a reach. um I know,
Hmm.
man. Like I think overall, like from what I've seen of his character, he's very edgy. He's very serious. His rivalry with Baruto doesn't make sense to me at all. When they like have an argument with each other, it kind of looks like little girls arguing with one another over something silly. I know, like I never really got deep into it because in my opinion, Naruto's and Sasuke's rivalry was one of the best done rivalries in anime right now. And that's just my opinion. Like I think they really did well with their rivalry. Like showed us like differences between those two. But with Kwaki and Baruto, I don't see like too many differences. Like I don't feel for Baruto for one. I don't feel anything for Baruto. With Kwaki, I can understand that he went through like this weird past where children were getting experimented on, where the children were getting experimented on and all that junk. I get that he went through it like a dark
Hmm.
past, whereas Baruto just has like a great family and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they're gonna do is that maybe that's why Baruto's never gonna change into an evil guy because he went through that past that was great. You know, like he had a great past, like with his father and mother and stuff like that. Whereas
Yeah,
Kawaki went through like a tragic backstory, and maybe that's why they're gonna have to clash with one another. But I know that Kawaki is very much about Naruto. Like whatever happens to Naruto, he's gonna cry about it. Whereas Boruto is the son of Naruto, but he cares more about Sasuke at the moment.
and you know how like Naruto and Sasuke had like a brotherly relationship, even though they didn't really have one. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like Naruto's best friend was Shikamaru or Rock Lee or Choji, but but they continue to say Sasuke was his best friend. But they said that they were like brothers. But the other thing is, you find out that their ancestors, Indra and Ashura, were actual brothers, right? But Sasuke and Naruto were not brothers, but they treat themselves as such. With Kawaki and Naruto, they're actual brothers. They're actual adopted brothers with the same power up. So there's another similarity with Sasuke. But yeah, I feel like because perfection said that he's going to get a power up too. He's going to be super OP by the time we reach in a time skip.
Kawaki?
Do you? Yeah, no, Boruto.
No, no. Bar, you're talking about Boruto. Okay, go on.
Oh, I was going to say that. Do you think they're going to have Kashin Koji train Boruto during the time skip? Like, do you think Kashin Koji will like become Boruto's Jiraiya? Like how Jiraiya was Naruto's Jiraiya?
Maybe.
No, like I mean, doesn't Boruto already have a sensei named Sasuke?
But he would be dead, I think, going to be presumably killed by Sasuke. So, sorry, not Sasuke. I confused between Kawaki and Sasuke.
Well,
I think they're going to kill off Sasuke. Like Kawaki
yeah.
is going to kill Sasuke and Naruto. So now Boruto would need a Jiraiya, right? He would need a trainer. So
Okay,
do you
so
think Kashin Kochi would replace him?
no, no, no. Let me just tell you this: like, if what they said about Kurama, Kurama, karma is true, what they said about karma is true, right? Kawaki
Hmm?
doesn't need a trainer. He's gonna already have 1,000 years of experience of battle experience. So yeah, he's already gonna have 1,000 years of battle experience. So I don't think
No.
no, no. What's his name? Baruto won't need a trainer because he's already gonna have a lot of experience in
Yeah,
the future.
and I don't think but they could still like pull up this bullshit where Boruto is still not able to tap into his full power, and somehow fucking Kashin Koji is going to do it. I wanted to say Kashin Koji. I don't know why I kept on bringing Kawaki. I'm saying Boruto would get his Jiraiya in the form of a Jiraiya clone called Kashin Koji because he's literally a Jiraiya clone.
How is his relationship with Baruto though? Like,
They
why do you
haven't
think?
shown it.
Huh?
I mean, so the only time Boruto and Kashin Koji met is him trying to kill Konohamaru, and that was it. He fought Konohamaru while
Okay.
Boruto watched it,
Okay.
and then Boruto like saved Konohamaru from Kashin Koji's fire.
What
But
did? Yeah. Sorry.
I was saying because Kashin Koji was turned out to be Jiraiya's clone,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he like completely disappeared.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that Kashin Koji will pick up Boruto or try to train him and whatever, and suddenly Boruto will be able to reach his potential. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
That'd be hilarious though because that would be like Power One Naruto basically.
That is a possibility. Oh no, no, Master, no.
Hey, Silent, welcome
Um,
back. Is that his name, Silent? The
yeah,
Hodo.
we call him Silent.
Okay.
He goes by Otaku now. We call him Silent.
Okay. Okay.
Silent, what do you think? Do you think Kashin Koji will become Boruto's Jiraiya?
I mean, isn't he a clone of Jiraiya?
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess so.
Uh,
Yeah, but I think that by the time skip, Boruto is gonna be already OP. And here's the thing: people had issues with the War Arc, right? They had the issue with War Arc because it was becoming Dragon Ball Z. Well,
yep.
I mean, in the Boruto Shippuden, when that happens, right? Just gonna call it Boruto Shippuden. where they're gonna be like, I don't know, man, galaxy level. They're gonna be alien level, like beyond world level. They're gonna be the strongest human beings we ever seen in Naruto. So I'm gonna find it interesting what people say about that.
So I just want to add something too, because like in the latest manga, in the
Yeah.
latest chapter of the manga,
Yeah.
Boruto is fighting this guy called Code.
Hmm.
But apparently, I don't know who this woman is. I just like saw the latest chapter and I
Held
because
up.
you brought it up, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at what was the whole thing. So not only so who is this woman? Apparently, there's a woman who is kind of like a pedophile because
Yeah.
she looked at Kawaki and Boruto, who I think are like 12 or 13 years old,
Oh my
and
god.
she's like thirsting over them for some reason.
I think Baruto did like a punch and she was like simping over him basically.
Oh god.
Oh my
Oh
god,
god.
it was so hilarious. I'm sorry. I'm
Call
dead.
Chris Hansen over there.
It was funny to me, man. Like he didn't even do anything that cool. That's the thing. And I'm gonna say one thing. Like I miss the way Kishimoto used to do his panels because I feel like I think his name is Ikimoto, right? I feel like I feel like he doesn't give that much information in one chapter. So that's why like these 40 pages I think they have like don't feel like a lot.
I so yeah, like there was this. So this is what I heard. I don't know how valid that is. So Ikimoto, he was like a Kishimoto's disciple. He
Yep.
was doing Boruto while Kishimoto was focused on a completely different phase.
Samurai
But
8.
because, huh?
Samurai 8, I
Yeah,
believe.
Samurai 8. But because Samurai 8 got cancelled, and by the time like Naruto was facing Jigen or Ishiki, they basically went back to like Kishimoto went back to writing Boruto because the original it was written by a completely different writer until Kishimoto series failed, so he's doing Boruto. And I think the one that is writing the current arc of Boruto is Kishimoto, the original creator of Naruto. He's the one who came up with the Baryon mode, and he's the one who is coming up with um, people with karma getting thousands of years of experience and getting all of the Otsutsuki's power. Otsutsuki clan, who I'm convinced is like the new Uchiha clan.
The
Right.
lamer, yeah, fan. I don't even like any of the alien shit. I've never liked it.
They're like the alien Uchihas. Like
Yep.
every evil person, like every Uchiha we see, even like Sasuke, until the end, they were all evil.
Okay.
Sasuke
So
ended up becoming evil.
okay.
Smart was evil. Obito was evil. And sorry, continue.
Yeah. This does get me thinking about something. Okay. So what is the future of Naruto and Sasuke though? Like, do you guys think they're done completely from the story, or I mean, or do you guys think they're gonna just die?
They're gonna have to.
I
They're
think Sasuke's gonna die.
Sasuke or Naruto will die, or both.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been reading some YouTube comment sections and stuff, and then I've seen like people theorize like they're gonna, use their Sage mode, and Sasuke's gonna use his Megeko Sharingan, and they're still amongst the strongest characters in the show, which I don't disagree with at all. But I feel like losing those enhancements they got in the War arc is gonna definitely put them down a notch, and they're not going to be able to deal with aliens for sure. They're not going to be able to deal with any of the aliens. I think Code is stronger than Naruto right now. I think Code can actually take on Naruto, but he can't beat Naruto and Sasuke with his limiter.
So
Uh,
I think Naruto and Sasuke have wonderful team up, and that is what becomes a wrench because Naruto and Sasuke team up was able to drive a scar on Zabuza's face, who at that point in time was untouchable. He was like, so Naruto and Sasuke couldn't touch Zabuza on his own, but when they teamed up, they were able to land the scratch on Zabuza's face, and that's what it was. But yeah, sorry, Geek, you were going saying something.
Geek, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's basically just gonna say is like, yeah, I honestly believe Sasuke is going to die. They've been giving a lot of hints on it, and especially in the beginning, that sword that you actually see Boruto possibly carry belongs to Sasuke. So I honestly really do believe that
Yeah.
he is going to die.
Plus, in the flashback at the start of the series, Boruto's wearing like Sasuke's clothes and shit. So
Yup.
yeah, I think he's gonna die.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'll say. Sorry. Go on.
yeah, yeah. No, no. If you want to add something to that, go for that. But I had another question. Go on.
So I was going to say this, and then like I have perfection answer the question too
Yeah,
because he has been quiet.
yeah, yeah.
I was saying, yeah, Boruto, like no, no, Boruto, like Naruto and Sasuke lost their Rinnegan and Nine Tails, and they still have the Sage Mode and Mangekyo Sharingan. But exactly how, like, I don't think that's the strongest anymore. Yes, Sasuke has his perfect Susanoo, but you've literally seen Karma and you've literally seen Kawaki and Boruto getting out Tsutsuki's power. So exactly how are they going to? I don't think. I think Boruto and Kawaki has like already gotten stronger. More like we like no. Let me correct that. I think Naruto and Sasuke like gotten weaker than Boruto and Kawaki because exactly how are never mind. Yeah, sorry, perfection. You were saying some. You want to add something to it,
Oh no, you
like
got
Naruto
it.
and Sasuke still being the strongest.
Oh yeah. So with them again, there are characters that they probably should have found something else for them to do, like a convenient like catastrophe outside the village. That way, because the reason that they keep on nerfing them is they want Kawaki and Boruto to be like the stars of the show and to be the strongest. And there's better
But then
ways to
just
get
kill him.
yeah, there's better ways to get around that. Like you could have just had them be out of the village and have Boruto and Kawaki and friends have no choice but to be the ones handling all the crisis and whatnot. I mean, it would have been better than what they've done.
Yeah, that's
I
what I was
mean,
going to remember. I'll let you speak, Talon.
I mean,
I mean,
in the original Naruto, there were characters that were more powerful than Naruto and Sasuke, but they didn't nerf him.
yeah, and
Like they
I
made
think Boruto and Kawaki have already gotten stronger because yes, Naruto still has a stage mode, and one of the perks of having a stage mode is that Naruto is able to like sense people, and apparently Boruto and Kawaki were able to completely dodge Naruto's sensory skills on top of that special quad that Naruto had. So there you go. But yeah, not to. And Silent. Sorry, Solent, you were going to say something. Sorry, Silent.
talk, talking to me or not to.
You. You were going to say something.
No, no, I wasn't.
Oh, like you already. Okay, so you already said what you had to say. Okay,
Yeah,
not Sue.
Okay, you know what? This all kind of reminded me of like how Sasuke lost his Rinnegan too. Like that was I looked up memes of it, man. It was hilarious, like how he lost it. Uh, but yeah, going back to like Naruto and Sasuke's potential, I feel like as characters they're pretty much done. I mean, without Kurama, Naruto is not the same to me. Like he
I
does have stage
mean,
mode. Yeah, what?
Kurama gave him most of his power anyway, so now he's just a shell of his former self. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's gonna have to relearn a lot of things because Kurama poured in a lot of chakra, and like adult Naruto used a lot of Kurama chakra, so like I think he's gonna have to relearn a lot of things. I don't think he's simply gonna go into sage mode and be like, yeah, guys, I'm OP. Um, at this point, he's like a shell of his former self and stuff. Now what got me thinking is like, how would you guys want them to die though? Like, I feel like they should have
I
died in the
mean,
Ishiki fight, but
I want him to die going all out, like going full power.
Yeah, same here. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
would
a
be
respectable death
really
to me.
good to see.
I just wish not like as not stated. I just wish they both of them died during when they were like fought Ishiki. Like Naruto had like a perfect way to die. He had like unleashed his full power. He was able to kill this huge threat on his way out, And instead of being nerfed, I think that like killing him off would have been a far better option. With Sasuke, you could have like Boruto, like Momoshiki control Boruto, and instead of like stabbing him in the eye, like he would like stab Kakashi or kill Sasuke. So that would have been like a pretty messed up scenario
I
where
mean,
Sasuke got killed by
when
his own disciple, and Boruto has to live with the fact that he killed his master.
Yeah, you added a good point to that, Masturbator. I honestly think that should have happened when they did that in the movie, and Naruto should have just died, and Boruto can possibly even become like even more motivated, and not becoming a selfish brat
I
anymore.
mean that would push him to want to kill the Otsutsuki and shit. That would actually be a
Yeah,
good motivation.
That and like another thing is he would like it wouldn't even be like a fight. It would be like Boruto like catching like Momoshiki catching Sasuke off guard, and Sasuke would die, and he was already low on chakra. Like there was a perfect way for them to die, and Boruto either because of the fact that he killed on like either because of the fact that he killed one of the Hokages, because I think Sasuke is like the shadow Hokage or whatever,
Hmm.
but because he killed Sakura's husband and Sarada's father, and he saw his father die, he felt like he shouldn't be in the village. Like just
Guys,
kill them both off and give this guy an arc where he has a reason to be angry with the Otsutsuki clan, as Talon pointed out. Just kill them off. Like I think this is what's happening to them right now is a fate worse than death because they're nerfed and they're useless. And I'm putting this
What
nicely.
was the whole point? What was the whole point of making them stronger, anyways? Like giving them all these power ups and power boosts in the previous series, just to take it away from them like that
that's a good question.
makes no sense.
That's a good question. Yeah, it doesn't, and you saw him in the war arc too, right? Like Naruto basically got full control of Kurama, like actually full control of Kurama in the war arc. I feel so. Yeah,
I
that is
mean,
true. What?
Naruto is literally the personification of hard work beats talent if talent doesn't try hard. I mean, he worked all his life to get this powerful, and
Right.
you're just take it away from him?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's some
And
BS, dude.
people say, oh, he's not nerfed, he's just fighting gods. I'm like, yes, Naruto is fucking nerfed because we
Dude,
had. Hold on, I'll say this. I
yeah,
was going to say Naruto, even though he lost nine tails, he has like chakra of other tail beasts too, and they've like given a nod to that because by the time Kurama died, they've shown other tail beasts hanging inside Naruto. Naruto still has his power to heal, I think, because he was able to heal Kakashi's eye when Madara took his Sharingan away. He was able to heal, like he was able to save Might Guy from a certain death. Now, like you telling me Naruto still not able to heal
I mean,
Sasuke's eye?
in my opinion, Mike Guy should have died. That would have been the perfect way to send him out. But yeah,
He's like a warning to what we're going to expect later on. Might Guy lost his legs, Sasuke lost his arm and his eye, and Naruto lost his nine tails and his major source of power.
Well,
because now,
yeah, sorry, go on.
because now, like Mike Guy is pretty much useless. So you don't really need him in the story anymore. I felt like he should have died in the war arc. Like,
I agree. But at the same time, they had to show Naruto's power of healing and stuff. So, I mean, I'm happy for that. But at the same time, I agree. But you know what, guys? I think I know what's gonna happen with Boruto. I think I know what they're trying to tell about Boruto. I think they're trying to tell us the same story they told us of Sasuke because Sasuke also used to have a family in the past. He used to have a family, and then there was like his brother who basically killed everyone. He killed his Uchiha and stuff. His whole clan basically. So I feel like what's gonna happen eventually is that Baruto is gonna probably this is which is my theory, but he's probably gonna go through this experience where he's gonna lose everything, where he's gonna lose his father, his mother. I don't know if he's gonna lose his sister because honestly I love Himawari. I don't know what I said Himawari, but Himawari. I love Himawari, and I'd be upset if they did something to her, but I think he's gonna eventually lose everything he has right now, and then all of a sudden this is gonna be a sad story. I think that's what they're doing. It's kind of similar to what happened to Sasuke, but this is happening a little later.
So
And
yeah,
so
I agree with that. What they actually do, they could be honestly building it up for that because they were, Kishimoto was mostly saying Boruto is gonna be better than Naruto, and what we're getting so far is mostly disappointment.
What?
That's how I'm seeing it.
It hasn't. I mean, from what Natsu put it as, it sounds like Sasuke's story all over again.
Yeah,
Where she wants to get revenge.
but
So
they're
it's just
doing it
retreading the
differently.
same thing.
Yeah, they're just
But
doing it a little differently, like you said.
but it's still the same concept at the end of the
Oh,
day.
it absolutely is, and to me, it's just an ass pull.
like here's another thing. Um, here's another problem in Boruto. When like Naruto start like Naruto had whether it got bad or not, it like
Yeah.
even like despite how ridiculous it got, it
Mm,
still felt real to a certain degree. Like some of the characters were like felt like real people. Naruto a failure who had a big dream, that's like pretty much all of us, I think, unless some of us is like a genius that
I
is
mean,
not like showing themselves.
he's the most relatable to me, the most relatable character in the entire series.
Like they showed like grief when like how Naruto, not sorry, when you like now you know how like how Naruto learned Jiraiya's death. They showed the
yeah.
fact that he was bad, and they showed it in a pretty real way. I'm just going with the anime. I don't know how they handled it in the manga.
Also,
She
another
had a
thing
real
I do want to ask
PTSD.
you is, hey, good.
So I'm just like getting to the end because yeah, we need to reach to like the fan base stuff. But like they showed some like certain things real, like the PTSD thing was explored pretty well with Kakashi and so to a certain degree Sasuke. Naruto's grief during Jiraiya's death felt
Mm,
pretty real, and certain things like even when Shikamaru like lost Asuma, and they showed it in a like he Shikamaru was like pretty irritable and frustrated until he was given a room and he was like allowed to cry, bawl his eye
yeah.
out. That was done in a pretty realistic way. And like even though you've seen these people like pull out water of like throw fire out of their mouth and whatever, it still felt real. With Boruto,
Yeah.
you don't feel anything. You don't feel any of that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What I wanted to add with Boruto too, right? Now, remember when we had the fourth grade Ninja War and Naruto, right? Now, remember we had those like 8 episodes, okay? And then all of a sudden we just go back to filler. And the reason why we went back to filler is because they were working on this. They were working on this the entire time, but you give us nothing good at all. Nothing entertaining to watch, anything, and it's just ridiculous because Boruto, it just sucks, and I hate the fact that I have to criticize it even more because I honestly think it had potential of being good, but I'm sorry when your character is uninteresting and when you do the exact same thing over and you do the manga again because I like people get so upset when they say like no the manga came out first. I'm like I'm sorry, but the movie came out first before any of this stuff. The movie
And
is
like
canon whether you like it or not.
here's another thing, and that would like make things. It's just my opinion, right?
You go ahead.
I don't know how other people feel.
Mm.
I was going to say, you remember how when like people compare Naruto with Dragon Ball Z, and the one
Yeah.
thing people mostly agree on is that Naruto had a better writing.
Yep.
Mhm.
Now, flashback to now, with everything Dragon Ball Super is doing with the Granola arc, you would think that like now Dragon Ball Super is becoming a deeper story. Like I'm not saying it's a deep story ever. I'm
Mm.
just saying the things they're doing it now with the PTSD and whatever. It
Yeah.
was Dragon Ball Super who is doing it. Dragon Ball Super has become a deeper story than Boruto, and
In
that's a
my
shame. That's
opinion,
like a huge fall from grace.
Yeah, which is
I,
crazy
I,
because
I
now
don't I
Boruto is in
don't
GT.
I don't like Super, but I take Super over Boruto any day because there's more things I like about Super than I like about Boruto.
So I think we got like about what 21 minutes left or something, or 20 minutes left of this stream, right?
Yeah, it's like yeah, Geek was going to leave, so we'll
Okay.
just like drive to another thing. It's going to be pretty short.
Okay.
Let's talk about the fan base.
Okay. Well, I mean, before we get into the fan base, I did have a question though. Like, so let's say, they kill off Naruto and Sasuke.
Hmm.
Do you think the main Naruto fan base is gonna follow Boruto after?
No,
No, and I honestly believe the ratings will go down. That's when the ratings will absolutely go down in Japan, and a lot of folks will probably stop watching it, and I would not be surprised.
yeah, because a lot of OG fans are watching Naruto. I mean Boruto because it has Naruto and Sasuke in it, and they want to see Naruto and Sasuke. And I feel
I
like that's a
think
problem that Boruto's gonna have to the Boruto series and manga is gonna have to deal with.
I
There's a
think they're
real
pretty
reason
much
why they're
driven
pushing
off.
it.
I think they're pretty much driven off with the fact that they've literally taken the Rinnegan away from Sasuke
Mm-hmm.
and Nine Tails from Naruto. Like what will it take? Like do you want Sasuke to be like completely blind and Naruto like even be do they want like Naruto to be a cripple or at least lose all of his power, lose like his chakra ability at all? Like what would it take? I think they're already pretty much driven off. I like they're all completely useless now. I don't think there's
They're gonna slowly become like my guy. He's just sitting in a fucking wheelchair doing nothing.
That's messed up.
Like
That is messed up.
I'm. It
Yeah,
may
It's
that's
be
true
messed up,
though.
but it's true.
yeah, it's true.
That is so true, dude.
Like
like do they want Naruto to be eaten by ten tails? Like I think they're driven off. I don't think they I don't think anyone who is watching this are like OG people. But we'll see.
No, I mean, like I said, it's called Boruto, Naruto, the next generations for a reason. But still, come on.
but it's its own series though. Even though it has Naruto in the title and
Exactly.
has the OG Naruto characters, it's its own series though. It's not a
Yep.
continuation.
Honestly, I
Yeah,
think that these guys really did a wrong. They made the wrong decision of nerfing these two because like, I see no point of nerfing these two because in the future we're gonna get even stronger villains, and Boruto's gonna have to fight stronger villains. So like I really saw no point of nerfing these two. But you know, like, but it is what it is. They nerfed them, and after they nerfed them, I think that was like a shot. Like Masturbator said, that was like a shot at those fans that follow Naruto, and you know, like
I
even
mean,
even
but here
even what Silence said about like how why give them these powers then take them away, like
it's stupid
Pissing off
because
the fans.
they didn't nerf the third Hokage, and the third Hokage was like probably stronger than Naruto and Sasuke in part one. They had him die off while defending the village from Orochimaru's attack. It's so dumb.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
dumb. It's dumb, and like knowing the type of villains we're gonna see in the future, it doesn't make sense that these two are nerfed. Like they
I
could have
mean,
stayed.
how
So
many times has the village been destroyed at this point? It's
a
three
lot.
times. Like we're gonna do the same thing
Way
over and
too
over.
many. I lost count.
Yeah, it's
When
becoming a
Pain
joke.
did it, it was cool, but
Yeah.
now it's just getting old. Like
Also, like Ishiki didn't make sense to me though. Like he was just like some strong dude that just came in and beat these guys up, and like I don't know,
I
like
don't,
I didn't feel anything for that character either for some reason. Like the
I don't
villains in
like.
Boruto are not that memorable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like
even when
any
they
of them.
tried with
It's can
even when they tried with Delta, it wasn't to me. I was like, oh, a copy and paste Android 18. Oh, okay, wonderful. Wow.
he
they're continuing with this alien shit that was never even good to begin with, and I don't
you know
understand why.
Ishiki is like a bootleg pain, but Like he
No,
does
no,
all
the
these from,
whole entire Karma group is a bootleg fucking Akatsuki.
Pretty much.
and Ishiki is like the leader, so that makes him like what, a bootleg pain or
No,
a bootleg Tubi. But
well,
he also has like
it would
Orochimaru shit in him.
make him a bootleg. I think Obito, because wasn't Pain taking commands from like Obito and shit, or was it?
Yeah, it was Obito, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, Obito was like people. They made us think that Pain was like giving them orders, but it was Obito in the back. Uh,
he was in the
So
shadows.
but Akatsuki was such an iconic team, I guess. Like the organization, there was such an iconic
I
organization.
mean, and they all had their own distinct personalities.
Yes,
They were all different from each other.
exactly, exactly.
so continue, sorry.
You know, what did you want to say, Masturbator?
No, I was going to say because like I would also have to like keep for a certain minute, so I'll just say this. Like to drive to a certain segue now, unless anyone else wants to add something.
Okay,
Um okay, so it could be like also like Geek wants to leave too because I think it's his time to work as well.
okay.
Um
I
so
don't have work until tonight, masturbator. I do the night shift.
oh okay, that's great, but still, let's just okay, so I was going to say this. Ishiki also like he's not only like a bootleg Pain or Obito, but he also has like an Orochimaru shit to him where he wants to control someone else's body because his own body is not compatible, like with Orochimaru. And like he can like the people like I know like Madra and Pain they're weaker, but they like anything Ishiki does is never going to be as impressive as when Matra launched a meteor at the Shinobi Alliance or
or
cut like
or
reshape a
or like
mountain.
ran through the whole entire Shinobi Alliance and killed nearly like half of them.
Yeah, and able to like toy with the five Kages. I mean,
Exactly.
Ishiki's stronger, but he will never be able to be Madra level of awesome,
Okay,
even
guys.
with Pain.
Okay, guys. I may be talking about a completely different topic, but this is something I wanted to ask because the stream is about to end. Do you guys think Kawaki versus Boruto is something you guys are looking forward to as Naruto and Sasuke? Like, do you think that it's going to be an iconic fight if it ever happens? Because like
It will,
the
No,
character development they had up till now, do you think you guys can see them conflicting with one another and actually having a good fight?
I mean,
mm,
I like them, but it feels like the retread of the same thing. They like Boruto and Kawaki were getting along just like how Naruto and Sasuke were starting to get along in part one, but then they started fighting against each other. It's it's the same thing.
so I'll tell you why I'll watch it. Like I will not obviously watch the episode. I'll just watch whatever AMV or clip they put. Like how I watched the Baryon mode fight with Ishiki. Um, so it will be like a pretty like it's going to be like a nice little fight they're going to have. Like it's going to have like a pretty stellar animation, like with Sasuke versus Naruto. They're going to have a pretty like even in the manga, they're going to have a nice little fight where they're pulling out all flashy move as possible. But other than that, I'd like another thing to focus on is like once they're done with that, this whole series is going to end. And that is what Boruto is. It's like a zombie version of Naruto. It's just better off dead instead of like walking mindlessly. And oh shit, yeah, never mind. I was going to say like it's going to be like a nice little fight, and I'll watch it simply to see like a stellar animation. But that's pretty much it. I'm not going to care who's going to win, who's going to die, or who's going to
Yep.
live. I just want to see nice little animation of flashy things. Because at this point, this is what Boruto is. It's all flash and no substance.
Yeah, like same thing with God of High School. I mean, uh,
Which sucks too, because God of High School had a decent story
All right, let
that they
me
completely messed on.
let me throw this in too. I mean, have you guys seen people say like the fandom? Have you guys seen the fandom say that we're waiting on part two? Boruto to see if it's good. Like they're waiting on when they're teens to see if this show is gonna get great.
But here's my thing.
Mm.
We didn't have to wait for Naruto to get good, and we didn't have to wait for Naruto Shippuden to get good. I feel like you shouldn't have to wait for something to get good. If
But yeah, like that's the segue we're going to reach, like the fan base. Because holy shit, the fan base is like the worst. I say this a lot. I would say like Dragon Ball Super would be like the most like the worst fan base, but I think Boruto takes the cake because even in the Dragon Ball stuff, people say, "Oh, I like Dragon Ball. It's the greatest thing ever," but it will not pretend that whoever didn't like people will mostly say it about Dragon Ball Z, but with Dragon Ball Super, nobody's going to pretend that anyone who didn't like Super just are like the fucking worst people who didn't get the series. With
yeah,
fucking Boruto fan and Critical Geek, I know like so Critical Geek. I know we said you can like Boruto and whatever, you're all good. But do you want to unleash the rebel on the Boruto fans? I know you're trying to
Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all Boruto fans. You can
hold
like
nothing
it,
back.
but at the end of the day, it's just a copy and paste of the movie. I don't care what you say. You can get angry, you can throw a fit, whatever. It doesn't make no difference to me. However, if you wanted to be successful with this product, you should have continued where you left off. There was no damn point of pulling a Dragon Ball Super and going all the way back and showing these characters that were uninteresting, very unentertaining, and nothing. You added nothing to this at all. And to me, it felt like filler episodes. You cannot defend this. You can try all you like. And I love it when people try to debate because it makes you look even more fucking stupid. And at the end of the day, the anime sucks horribly. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be canceled.
and
So
I mean,
continue.
I got nothing against people liking Boruto. The only problem I really have with the fan base is that they literally shit on people who don't like Boruto and tell them that they're not Naruto fans and you can't like Naruto if you don't like Boruto. You're just not allowed to have a negative opinion about a show they like.
So I'm saying if you guys like it, you can. But however, as a hardcore fan like myself, I was very disappointed with it because I wanted it to be good. I put up with it for so long, hoping that it was going to get really amazing, and unfortunately, it's like now it's up to 200 and something episodes, and you're trying. I understand that, but there is no excuse because this should have been done in the first place, and the fact that it's getting even more embarrassing, including in the
I
manga.
mean,
So it's just like, what are you doing?
first part they almost have more episodes than the original run of Naruto. The original run only had like 220 episodes, so they
And
already
yeah, so
close
now
to
do you want to
surpassing
say
that.
something?
Well, about the fandom as a whole and about the whole time skip thing. I mean the thing is like I agree with what Silent said about the time skip as well. Like that's my thinking as well. If you need to wait till the time skip to be amazed about the show, then Part One Naruto was already good. Part One Naruto is arguably said to be better than Shippuden. So
Hmm.
if Part One Boruto is not good enough, how is Part Two going to be good enough? Like I don't understand that.
And
So
if we have to wait till a certain point for something to get good, what was the whole point of having to go through all those other arcs that were bad and shit? Like if you need to have a good hook if you're trying to make a story, you need to
Perfection,
have
you there
something to
or
get people interested and invested into the story. If you fail at
perfection?
that, why should I continue watching?
no,
Perfection,
that
you there? Sorry, go on.
yeah, I don't think he's here. Yeah,
He said he'll
After
be right back like
yeah,
22
but it
minutes
has
ago.
been a long time, so I thought he's back now. But
no,
yeah, continue.
yeah, but yeah, like I agree, man. Like if there isn't any hook, what's the point of it? Because like we said already, like there isn't any villain Boruto villain. that is amazing. Like I know about Armado, I think his name is. Yeah, I think he's like one of those mysterious dudes people don't know about. Like he kind of gives you the Orochimaru vibes. You kind of don't know if he's good or bad. I think they have a character like him. But otherwise, like I really don't see any other villain in this show that is very memorable because the whole Kara clan, the whole Kara thing, pretty much basically ended in my opinion. They're not that memorable or any of that. So part one of Boruto so far it doesn't look that great, and I know Boruto is gonna start showing new powers and junk like that. But I don't. But I don't really care about that. Like I just want to see how the fandom basically erupts when they kill Naruto and Sasuke.
I mean, to me, none of these new villains really have any interesting motivations or ideologies like the old villains had, and that's what made the old villains so interesting. That's what made
So
them beat.
Yeah, like part one Orochimaru, for example, like that dude, he gave me the shivers, man. Oh my god, like none of these guys gave me any of that. So, so that's the thing. And Pain is like by far one of the best villains in the show. So, uh,
Even Madara is really
even
good,
Madara, yeah,
and Obito, in my opinion.
yeah, Obito, Obito, like he was crying over a girl though. That's kind of sad. But yeah, he was still better like than any of these guys. So like Naruto had great villains, like memorable, like even Kabuto. I like Kabuto, like how he got the sage mode and stuff.
Even even Zabimaru, I feel like he's a underrated villain in part one.
Wait, who the?
That
Okay, you know the
he
funny
was
thing
in
is,
he was in the final arc, the Sasuke rescue arc. Like he was that guy that had the bones
like
coming out of his body and shit.
for a minute, I just want to like interject because I'll say this. I need to like take my dogs out for walk. I
okay,
will be not here for like 10 minutes. I'll
okay,
be right back.
okay,
He
okay,
had
yeah.
he had bones coming out of him.
Wait, you mean Kimimaru,
His
right?
Yeah, Kimimaro.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
pronounced it wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Is that-
it's all good. But man, he was so good. Yo, that fight was so good, man. Oh my god. I remember like Rock Lee came in to fight him, then Bara came in to save him. It was pretty good. Yeah, he was like one of those great villains as well. Like honestly, one of my most memorable ones. Uh,
he's so overlooked. I don't really see people talk about him a lot. That
they don't.
To me, he's underrated.
No, they
Like
don't. They don't talk about him. That's because like after that, Sasuke and Naruto had a fight, so that's what people remember the most. But that arc overall, the Sasuke retrieval arc, was very memorable because they gave Neji some shine. They gave Choji some
yeah,
time. Choji out of all the characters, like that was an
that's
epic
what I
moment.
like. That's why I put part one over the original Naruto because it felt like all the characters in the show had at least got some screen time and had some sort of importance and some kind of moment in the series.
That's true. That's true. Like everything about part one, like Orochimaru was like behind everything. But I felt like in Shippuden, like they just like threw Orochimaru away quickly.
Yeah,
Like when Sasuke basically destroyed him.
I mean,
After
he
that, he
was
was unseen.
literally one of the first characters you see invade the village. Like he was doing that shit before Pain was doing it. Like,
Right.
and then he got sidelined in Shippuden.
Yeah, but Akatsuki weren't bad though. Like
They
Akatsuki were
weren't.
really good. Akatsuki were good. I mean, they were also built up from part one too, because like when Itachi and what's his name,
Kisame.
Kisame, yeah, Kisame
Yeah,
came to the village, dude. I don't know why we're going to Shippuden, but I gotta acknowledge the fight between Kisame and Guy.
I
That
mean
fight was good.
Itachi when he first showed up was badass because he was beating up a bunch of fucking Jonin, and they were said to be very strong characters. Like
Oh yeah,
even Kurenai's Genjutsu couldn't work on him.
Itachi was something else, dude. Itachi was he's a character that's pretty much missing. There's never gonna be a character like him in the show right now. Um, Kakashi, Madara, you got no wait, why am I saying Kakashi? Itachi, Madara, um, Pain, Orochimaru. There's a lot of names I could name right now of the villains that are
Kakashi's
memorable.
my favorite. I like
Itachi?
his backstory. No, Kakashi.
Oh, Kakashi. Oh yeah, dude. You know what? You know what I wanted to see more of is his father. Like,
Yeah, and that's one of the critiques I have of the war arc is that there was characters in Naruto that were said to be really powerful, but you never really got to see them. And so they could have brought those characters into the work to show how strong they were because Kakashi's father was said to be as powerful as the three legendary Sanin.
yeah, that's true. And I understand they never wanted to bring Jiraiya back because Jiraiya had a fantastic death. And I think it's still one of the best deaths I've seen so far. I don't consider. Okay, can I ask you this question? Do you think? Okay, let me ask you this. You know the Kurama death, right? I know like a
Yeah,
lot of people were crying over it. What did you think about that?
I mean it was a sad death. I like Kurama and I like the way he over time he kind of warmed up to Naruto.
Yeah, I liked Kurama too, but his death kind of just felt forced though. Like I don't know, like I didn't feel for his death at all.
I felt like him and Naruto should have just died together. I mean, it's
I
pointless because well, wait, no, he can't come back, but it would be pointless for any other tail beast to die because they can come back instead.
Yeah, but apparently they're saying this tail beast died. So the fact that Kurama died, a tail beast that could basically revive itself, uh, who's basically just a pile of chakra, right? Like even though
Yeah,
I think they basically retcon that part where they can come back because they're making it seem like this is an actual death. That's why it didn't make me feel it as much as Jiraiya. Jiraiya was a human being who basically died. So him dying was a bigger impact. But if Naruto and like Kurama dies, like you said, it would be a bigger impact than just Kurama dying because Naruto. You know who Naruto is, honestly. Naruto
I
is
mean
a kind of character.
they spent it makes sense because Naruto's literally spent his whole life with Kurama inside of him, and Kurama got to see his journey. So it only makes sense for Kurama to see it till the end.
Yeah,
Like literally, Naruto's parents put Kurama in there for a reason because they wanted Naruto to utilize that power and to master it, and taking it away kind of ruins the whole point of them doing that.
exactly, exactly. And like in the future, we're just gonna see Baruto. Like as far as I'm concerned, like we even talked to Perfection about this too. Like Sarada doesn't seem like she's gonna have anything. Mitsuki, dude, like that dude has become irrelevant. Like they're like I know he's like Orochimaru's son or something. Like I don't know, he's like like one of those adopted sons. There isn't anything special about him either. There isn't anything special about him besides that sage mode that he has.
I
But
mean,
that's
he's a clone, pretty
he
much.
yeah, he's a clone pretty much. Like, and then you got Sarada, who's not gonna get that much. I mean, she could get Mageko Sharingan, I guess, but outside of that, she's just gonna be a support character in the end. In the future, it
I
kind of
mean,
looks like
she
yeah,
has dreams and aspirations of becoming the Hokage, and Boruto was gonna become the Shadow Hokage.
yeah. But did you see what happened to the village in the future?
Yeah,
Yeah, like all the Hokage monuments are gone basically. They're basically destroyed. So like the village is kind of destroyed. So it kind of looks like we're gonna get another case of the village getting destroyed again.
I mean, how many times have this been invaded and destroyed? First by like by like Obito, Orochimaru, Pain, and now Kawaki. This has been done over and over again. Why can't we just see another village get destroyed, or
I
fuck
would
it,
love
all the
it.
villages, or all the villages getting destroyed?
I would love that.
That would show how much of a threat Kawaki is. Is that he's able to take down all the five nations and shit. So
I agree with that. But in the future, it kind of doesn't look like the village is there. So the Hokage that we're gonna see after Naruto, which in my opinion should have been Kohona Kohona Armor. I still can't say his name, but it should
he's
have been him.
getting he's getting the part one Kakashi treatment right now. He's just he just hasn't done much of anything.
But
Just
don't
like
you?
just
Sorry.
like part one, Kakashi was constantly getting his ass beat, but then he got really strong in part two, and you got to see him fight.
That's true. But part one, Kakashi still had a memorable fight with Zabuza.
But he just kept taking L's, and like Kakashi was so smart that he almost like he came up with a whole entire plan to defeat Pain and almost did it. Like
Yeah.
almost successfully took down Pain. Like that's how intelligent he is.
I think Kakashi is like the only character. I think Kakashi is probably like one of the only characters that actually died and came back to life.
Uh-huh. No,
Yeah.
Shizune did too. Because she got her soul ripped out of her.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, we got like at least two characters that basically died and came back to life. And I don't mean like Edo Tensho or anything like that. Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like this new power up that Boruto's getting. By the way, like another thing I wanted to mention about Boruto is that he kind of has, you know, the mark that he has.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you of the curse mark.
It is the curse mark. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah, it is.
It is. I mean, it's the same thing. It gives him a power boost, but it's a mark can be that can lead to the user being taken control by somebody.
Do you remember Curse Mark 1? Where like half of Sasuke's body was kind of covered with those weird
Yeah.
Uchiha dots? Yeah, it's like that to me. Because that's what the
Uh-huh.
power is. Like and it doesn't look that cool to me at all. That's the thing. With Naruto, like now what I'm saying is kind of very subjective and you know not everybody agrees with it. But with Naruto, at least like his Kurama powers gave something to the whiskers. But Naruto has like these two whiskers that do nothing. Because like because of the power he has. Like he's not gonna have any insane transformation besides getting covered with tattoos on the other half. So to me, it's like kind of over the top. Like I don't know, like overall, like the design I saw a future Boruto was kind of over the top to me because he already has like that mark on his eye, like similar to Kakashi, and then he has a bunch of these marks from his karma seal go over his body. So it's kind of like he's being he's trying too hard to be edgy.
It's just a curse mark. I mean, this is part of the reason why I don't like Boruto is instead of trying to do different things, so they'll retread same things from the previous shows, Naruto Shippuden and the original Naruto. It's
Yeah,
like
essentially that's all it is. It's just a
I feel
rip
like
off of that.
I feel like
Basically, it's a combination. Like it's not as cool as the chakra mode for for Naruto, but it's like a combination of chakra mode and the curse mark.
I feel like if you're gonna continue a new series, at least try new things and instead of doing the same thing over and over again.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, and I just don't know how this is gonna end because what happens after Boruto's story? Are we gonna get a story of his son?
Saruto, next generation. And I mean, what's the point of learning jutsu anymore? You got ninja tech now that can basically do jutsus for you. So there's no point
True.
actually learning the hand signs and training and shit. Like it's all pointless now.
So I'm trying to understand like what is the actual end gonna be of this whole show because we know that Naruto and Sasuke are no longer gonna be the same as they were before unless they somehow bring. I mean, Sasuke technically could bring the Rinnegan back if he wants to because there's a bunch of Sharingans lying around, right? So he could probably do something with that, but they're not gonna do that. And Sasuke basically like how Bader said, lost his eye, lost his arm. What else? What else he's gonna lose? Like his leg? Like he just kept losing things as he grew older. It's kind of
I
funny.
mean, I don't mind him losing his arm, but to take away his eye and do all that other shit, no. Just have these characters die going all out in a battle, like how the third Okage died. Like it's or
But
like
they're
how Minato died. Like
sacrificing himself.
yeah, sacrificing themselves.
Yeah.
It's
But this does
that's
go. Yeah, but this goes back to what I said about Ishiki. Like they should have died then because then they could have been going all out then dying because now they're nerfed and they're gonna die.
they're gonna either die or they're gonna become my guy and be fucking and be completely useless.
Yeah, that's gonna be sad.
And that's gonna be like a diss towards OG fans. Like to say that a character that they watched, spent hours watching, is no longer important to the story anymore.
Yeah, that's how it is. Because that's why I look at Boruto as like a alternate universe in a way. Like I don't view it as the same continuity of the
I
previous.
mean, I don't even want it to be. I don't feel like there even needed to be a series. They could have just done the movie and that would be that. Like,
But they need the dollar bills, bro. They need to make money. They need to milk.
and sometimes they value money over quality.
That's true, and that's what Super is dealing with right now. I feel.
I mean, yeah.
What are your thoughts about this perfection?
Uh, I think they probably should have read the room years ago when they first came out with Boruto, and either made some major changes, like just completely revamped the story, or retconned it as soon as possible and just started back over from scratch with the Boruto series. That again, just like what I've been saying, like probably should have started it from when they were young adults or teenagers or something, either one. That way they could be justifiably strong, or at least at the point where it's believable. Or you should have started at a point way off in the future where maybe the ninja school is gone and maybe just everyone's a strong shinobi, or I do not know. But what they've done now is wrong, and they've kind of just dug themselves into a hole that they can't get themselves out of. So it's just like it's sad watching the Naruto series. Like I know it's Boruto, but it's the Naruto series. It's sad watching the
It's a
Naruto,
continuation.
yeah, sink like this because this is worse than GT. Like there's
I
nothing
mean, it's like
really going on.
eh, to me, Naruto franchise hasn't been the same since the war arc. I feel like since then it's just declined. Like it's just gotten worse.
I I'm glad you brought up GT because, and this is my personal opinion. I'm still not a big fan of adult Naruto's hair. So just like Vegeta lost hair in GT, Naruto lost hair in Boruto.
I don't
So
even like the GT mustache. I don't feel like that looks good on Vegeta.
I don't know
It's
why
like
they did that. That was hilarious.
he already looked good. I don't know why they need to change him up.
Yeah, I made this joke where I said that now Naruto not only lost his hair, but he lost his chakra. So that's kind of what happened.
Fucking, they made Vegeta look like a Kevin. Like, bro.
Dang, where is
And
Master
and you
Vader?
know what? I've noticed this pattern. Every time they give Vegeta a new transformation or a new kind of power up, he
Mhm.
always loses a fight right after that. When he got Super Saiyan, he lost a Android 18. When he got the grade A forms, he lost a Cell. Every time.
That's actually a hilarious point you said though. Yeah,
It's a pattern.
he, and then he did gain Super Saiyan 2, right? And he didn't win the fight when he gained
I
Super
mean,
Saiyan 2.
Goku. I'm not really counting that because Goku was holding back.
Okay.
He wasn't. He was able to go Super Saiyan 3, but didn't. He didn't go all out.
Well, he had a tie with Goku, and then lost to Majin Buu.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's true.
It just
He's just a loser.
he never. Yeah, and then he right when he was about to defeat Frieza, they have him blow up the fucking planet, and then Whis rewinds it, has Goku beat Frieza. Even though I feel like Vegeta deserved that after all the shit Frieza put him through. I feel like he should have killed him.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue with Dragon Ball. That I mean they're just like pushing Vegeta down a lot. Like they're not making him that relevant. Like I mean they're making him relevant, but it's like he's not able to win those important fights that he should win.
I mean, and I feel like they reversed this character arc because at the end of Z,
Mhm.
Goku and
Uh,
Vegeta were cool. They were friends, but then in Super, they went back to being rivals again.
All right.
okay, okay.
So Beta, welcome back. Are you ready to wrap up the stream?
Oh yeah, so I was just going to like say this about the fan, because I just want to bring up like two things. I know it's
Okay.
pretty getting here.
Okay.
So the first thing first is like people are acting like, oh, you're not a Boruto fan, and they're like saying, oh, like for example with Konohamaru, they keep saying how he's fighting like god level threat and whatever, and he's fighting Hokage level threat, and that's like the problem. He should be a Hokage level character, but that's not even that. Like another thing to notice, like these series, as you've seen with Boruto and Kawaki, they can just make these characters stronger whenever they wish like, right? Like
Mhm.
they've given Boruto a karma, and now they're pulling the ass pull that karma can make someone get thousands of years of experience. Are you telling me they could never do that with Konohamaru? They could never give him a stage mode or whatever?
I mean,
And go on.
as a kid, Konohamaru was able to take down like one of the paths of pain. So wouldn't you think that he would train after that and even get stronger? What? He's getting the Part One Kakashi treatment. It, it's sad.
He has, like, you telling me he couldn't do that? And like another thing to notice, um, and it's like it's always something like that. They keep saying how it shouldn't make sense and whatever, but Boruto in itself doesn't make sense. Like Naruto is able to like forget the fact that fuck you, Zan, fuck you.
Screw you.
So I was going to say this. With it's not even like that. Like it's not like in a series where these characters get unexplained nerfs. Like people say Sasuke can do teleport and whatever, but there are
Hold
other
on, hold on.
abilities
We
too.
talking about hold masturbator. We talking about unexplained nerfs. Don't just gloss over what they did to Anko Mitarashi. Please don't. They destroyed her. If there was anyone that got the most egregious nerf, it was her. They destroyed my Anko.
Wait, isn't she that lady that was slim and then became fat in Boruto?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
you,
mean,
Zan.
they explained it by saying that after the during the time of peace there wasn't much mission, so she wasn't very active, and she would eat like onko. I mean, not whatever they call it a lot, and it made her
But
fat.
nobody was active. Hinata stayed pretty much the same. Sakura
I
stayed
mean,
the
she
same.
did, but she onko never really had good eating habits to begin with. And the only reason
Yeah,
why she was overweight was because she was out doing missions, so she was getting physical activity.
but no, not like not even like forget Anko. Forget Anko for a second. They had Sakura get like be trained by the fifth Hokage. They gave her like a power up that she can like heal herself without any hand seal and whatever. Like they had a whole journey for her, like try to be like move on from Sasuke, because Sasuke is like she only likes Sasuke for being pretty. And look at what they're doing now. Now she's making a sandwich for Sasuke. Hinata, who is like a Byakugan user, knows taijutsu and like is pretty well versed at it. Now she's making a sandwich for Naruto. Like this series, like you telling me Sakura couldn't have helped out Naruto and Sasuke at all when
Nor
he was like,
Hinata.
Well, I
or
mean,
Hinata.
look at it like this.
I
Naruto
mean,
and
we never.
Sasuke at the time were literal gods. What is Sakura gonna do to help literal gods?
But she was like helping
She was
Naruto and
supposed.
Sasuke fight against Kaguya. I'm not saying
It,
Sakura is a god level character, but you telling me she couldn't do anything while her husband is like nearly dying by this
I mean,
dangerous threat who can destroy a village?
she was
Well, I mean,
literally set up to
they're fighting
be.
against Jigen. She would have 100% died, and then that would have been like a needless death.
I mean,
At
but
least she would have tried to fight.
She was set up to be like the the third strongest character out of like Team Seven or whatever.
I'm sorry, she
And
wasn't. I think it was Kakashi.
No, 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 no. Her whole motivation was that she wanted to catch up to Naruto and Sasuke.
Oh, Sakura, you saying?
Yeah,
yeah,
Sakura.
Yeah.
but like, are you going to tell me that
Mm.
I'm not saying she's going to like body chicken or whatever. I'm just saying while her husband like, and it's not even like, I'll add another thing to it. Everyone like when Jigen invaded like the Hidden Leaf Village, everyone was like fighting, including
I
Rock
mean,
Lee, including Ino, including Choji. You telling me Sakura couldn't have bothered to
Pain.
join?
Yeah, when Pain
I
showed
mean,
up.
maybe she was off healing people.
Okay.
Are
Like,
you talking about the Pain fight?
no, 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 like, like Ishiki, like the bootleg pain, he
Yeah.
invaded Konoha. So in the anime, they showed other characters fighting Jigen before Naruto and Sasuke got around to it. I'm just saying, like, it makes no sense for Sakura, who who knows that her husband is in trouble and is close to death. She never bothered fighting that guy. I'm not saying she's going
I
like
mean,
I'm not saying she has to beat this guy, but just help them out.
she did the same thing
Pain
when
attacked her.
Naruto, way back when Naruto was fighting Pain, and they're supposed to be teammates. And at the time, it was debatable whether she cared about Naruto differently or not. She
I mean,
still did nothing. It took Hinata to show up to stop Pain from finishing off
no,
Naruto at that time. So
she was off healing people, and nobody else but like some Hyuga clan members could see what was going on. So that's why I think that's why Hinata went in and fought Pain.
Okay,
I mean,
I
Even Sakura gets beat as a girlfriend slash wife. Like Hinata pulled up real quick. Like, no, you're not taking my husband away, my future husband. No, but Sakura
I mean,
just sat
here's
there and
the thing:
watched.
we never even got to see a moment where uh Sasuke and Sakura do something together, like what we did with in the last with Naruto and Sasuke. I mean, no, Naruto and Hinata when they were fighting Toneri. Like,
I mean, we know what's going on. Well, like Sasuke's already given her a baby, which I still don't like that. I think it should have been Karin's baby, but
Yeah, I agree.
He's out there making more Uchiha. He's out there. She's all like Sakura's not gonna care. She
I
probably
mean,
knows what he's doing, and he's out there making a new Uchiha clan.
even then, it would still be bad. It would still be a bad pairing because uh, Sasuke literally wanted Sakura to kill Karin, and then Karin went from hating Sasuke to liking Sasuke again. So
no, no, no,
it
no, no,
would.
no. Like,
I
so
mean,
like here, I'll do you better now. You remember how Sasuke? Sorry, continue. I'll let you finish. It's a
it
completely
would
different thing.
make for one hella overpowered child because it would have like the Uchiha blood and the Uzumaki blood, so it wouldn't have chakra issues or anything, but the pairing would still be bad.
So another thing we have to like notice, like how Boruto doesn't make sense. You remember how Sasuke is able to release his like a powered up Susanoo just by like absorbing the chakra of other tail beasts, and Naruto in himself has other tail beasts too. Are you
Yeah,
telling me that Naruto couldn't have like shared chakra with Sasuke and give him that advanced Susanoo technique where he could use like Indra's arrow?
That would have been interesting.
here's what I would have done. And again, I think we spoke about this earlier. I don't get why Naruto number one. Like, I don't know why they're treating him like he's without a tailed beast when he has all the other tailed beasts in him. I think he even has the eight tails in him. I don't think Killer Bee
Yeah,
has
he
eight
has.
tails.
Yeah, he
Okay,
has
so he at
chakra.
least has the other seven tailed beasts still within him. So they're kind of underselling Naruto at this point. But at the same time, you're telling me that Naruto wouldn't have used the other tailed beast or one of the other tailed beasts first to use Baryon State? At least that way he wouldn't have lost Kurama, and like the other tailed beast could have just reincarnated or whatever at a later
I
date.
mean, he doesn't have them fully. He only has like partial portions of like their chakra and stuff. So
Has he
he wouldn't
ever
be able to
used
use
the
it at
Sage
full
mode?
power.
Has he ever used Sage mode on top of the Kurama power when he's fighting an
Yes,
Otsutsuki?
not no one. He has
No?
used it before, but not when fighting an Otsutsuki. No.
Yeah, like he has used it before, but when he's fighting an Otsutsuki where you need like Sage Chakra or whatever, you telling me he couldn't bother to use Sage Jutsu? That among many more examples kind of prove that Boruto doesn't make sense. They're just doing it out of plot convenience. So I don't want to hear people say that Konohamaru couldn't get stronger or Naruto couldn't have get stronger or whatever. Another thing, because we're like trying to wrap things up real quick. People keep saying you like people keep pretending and saying you're not a Naruto fan because why would you leave Boruto? And I hate like when people say shit like this because they're trying to act like everyone who has watched Naruto hasn't didn't know what was going on in the series. We
Yeah,
it's just the fact that Boruto
and it's
is
like
shit to us.
saying like just because you like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, that you're obligated to watch Boruto and like Boruto, but if you don't, you weren't a Naruto fan to begin with. I hate that fucking argument.
And like I'm
I want
sorry, sorry, go on.
I'm, I'm criticizing Boruto because I love Naruto and I want Boruto to be good. It's not like I want Boruto to be bad.
Yeah, like people keep acting like Boruto is this deep masterpiece that we just couldn't understand. And I'm sorry, we couldn't see Boruto as this masterpiece that it's supposed to be simply because of the fact that we love Naruto.
Mhm.
You two have anything to add to this? Just like make it real quick.
Okay. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Do you like anything else add like to the statement that you're not like you don't like Boruto and like they don't like Boruto because they're just here to hate and they don't watch it or they don't understand Naruto or something
So,
like Boruto is exactly like Naruto.
so you're basically talking about the main fan base of Boruto that
Yeah.
says that. Okay. Um, I really, to be honest with you, I really don't. For one, I really don't care what this say about me when it comes to my opinions on Boruto and stuff. Naruto
Hmm.
for me is a fact. It's gonna stay a fact. The Naruto for me is always gonna be the better show. Like no matter what. Like now,
I mean,
I don't think what
to me, part one is the best, and it's like a S tier anime to me.
right.
So
So I don't see Boruto reaching the level of Naruto ever. It isn't even in sales right now. So my opinions based on this show are built from Naruto obviously, and if they say anything about me not appreciating Boruto or any of that, I mean at this point to me Boruto is like an overpowered brute who just is there for the sake of entertaining you guys with stuff that Naruto couldn't give us because Naruto
I
spent
mean,
two or three jutsus or something. This guy can bring out a lot of jutsus, and to be honest, even in his own show, Naruto was kind of nerfed because like of how you talked about earlier, Bader, where you said that he has a lot of chakra and stuff, so he could have
mhm.
done a lot of jutsus too if they ever wanted him to do it because he had a lot of chakra to spare. And
I
even
mean,
say what?
and I mean, what made the Naruto fight special to begin with is because wasn't because it was like Dragon Ball Z. It was because it had a lot of like strategy to it. It wasn't just like two fucking powerful people clashing together. Like you had to have some kind of strategy if you wanted to defeat the opponent.
And so another thing that people say is that we just here to join the bandwagon. Like I'll let perfection say, but that's like another thing they say. We're just here to we're just joining the bandwagon and we just can't admit that it's good and like we can't have an honest opinion, can't we? Like we can't just see this fucking series
It's
be
perfect.
fucking bad.
No, no,
Yeah,
Vader, you're wrong. It's a perfect show. It has no flaws at all. We're just
Perfection.
hating and we're just on the fucking bandwagon.
No, it's
Perfection.
the
Are you
best.
just a hater?
No, I'm not just a hater. I'm disappointed because I would have liked for Boruto to have been that next like Dragon Ball level continuation. Like Naruto was big. I was ready for Boruto to be big too. I mean, as an anime gaming channel, anime channel, whatever, it's always better when something is good. But if something's bad, you just need to call it out. That's all it is. If you don't call it out, it's never going to get better. It's never going to improve. And it's the same problem that we're
Exactly.
dealing with right now in the Dragon Ball Super community. It was so long that people didn't call out the property that eventually it got to a disgusting point of where it is today. But now it's kind of too late in my assessment because you went so long telling them, oh, yeah, it's great. It's awesome. This episode was awesome. This character was awesome. This new shiny transformation was awesome. And I think that if Boruto had something like they have transformations, but not really, like not on the level of Dragon Ball. I think they would have had a better distraction from the other glaring issues. So I think that might have helped people critique it better. But the community that's defending it, I
Yeah.
think they need to be open to criticism. And
Yes.
if they want their community to grow, they need to be open to criticism.
But
Oh, oh,
that's the thing. They're not, and they literally attack and get on people for
oh,
not liking Boruto and critiquing Boruto.
okay, guys. I did have a question though. Like, I know we're talking about the fandom itself, but I also want to talk about the YouTubers. I won't call any names because I don't want to make this controversial or anything. But I noticed that there are some YouTubers that do make Baruto content, and a lot of the content I watch, it doesn't look like they're adding much to what we've already seen. Um, and for
Uh,
so what?
yeah, that's why I just stopped watching Naruto Explained.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that dude. That's one dude I was talking about. But like,
yeah.
so
Go
what?
ahead, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
like yeah, like that dude, for instance. Like I watch his shows and stuff like that, and he says a lot of things about how he is informative and all that stuff. You know, I get that, but like I think he over exaggerates what's written on the story and then makes people believe that stuff. Because like I read the same chapter as he did, and I didn't see that much explanation from that chapter for him to make multiple videos over that chapter. So that's the thing. I think some people like in the Dragon Ball fandom also milk Baruto for money.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's just explaining what happened in the chapter. It's not really a review. He used to be a channel that was like really informative and would give out like knowledge on like the Naruto lore and all that. But it's ever since he started doing the Boruto stuff, I just felt like his content fell off. At least for me,
Yeah, yeah.
because I sub for the Naruto stuff,
Mhm.
and I don't like Boruto, so I don't really have any interest in his Boruto content. It just doesn't appeal to me anymore.
So this is the last thing, and this is like the most ridiculous argument I've seen, and that just doesn't happen in Boruto. It just happens in all of anime. They just do it. I don't know why. So this is the one thing that annoys me. So maybe this is not really a Boruto topic, but an anime topic or manga topic. Oh, you just complaining while you're reading this shit for free. You got to be grateful. And so if let's use that line of thinking
I know what argument you're getting this from. A certain guy we've done streams on in the past.
from a
Oh
comment
my
section,
god!
I've actually seen a lot of people in the comment section.
But
But
comment Coffee Bee made the same argument. So
oh god,
about Dragon
okay.
Ball.
So we getting this shit for free. So let's let's think about it. For example, if you have a toilet cleaner who who basically fucked up your toilet for free, what should you be grateful?
No, he did a shitty job.
If if there's a driver who made you who landed you at the wrong place, But if he did it for free, should you be fucking be happy?
No, that's like getting a shitty looking shirt for free and appreciating
Yeah,
the fact that it's free. I would rather pay for something if I get better quality.
but like another thing too is just because you get like if it doesn't matter how we're reading this, if a story is shit, it's going to be shit. You don't have to pay for it or read it for free to be able to say it. Because at the end of the day, mangas, animes, I hate to break it to you, they're fucking art. Art is basically asking for other people to give their opinion on stuff. This is not fucking rocket science. It, they,
Correct.
yeah, like they're basically asking for your opinion. It's not mathematics where one answer is the correct answer. And people constantly saying that, oh, you're reading this for free. So what? I would much rather not pay for this than pay for it and lose my money because that would make me a fucking idiot.
True.
Why should I pay for like people say this because like you read Viz Media or you read like whatever, like you have to pay for Viz Media to be able to read all of this. If I'm getting this for free, why should I complain? Sorry, if I'm getting this for free, why should I pay for this? I'm only interested in the latest chapter, not fucking reading the entire thing. But another thing is, um, and that's like I'm getting like a bit, I'm diverging from the topic a bit. Pirated sites or like they have more stuff in them where you can just read this for free
I
than
mean,
the
yeah,
people you have to subscribe to. Like for example, Crunchyroll doesn't have all the anime in there. Some of the things like they don't have the old ones that I want to watch, and some of the new ones in like they're in another streaming or whatever service. Netflix doesn't have a lot of anime. Like if you want to read about what if you want to watch fucking, let's say I'll just throw out a random name. Let me think of one. Yeah, Get Backers. I'm not going to get this on Netflix. I'm going to get this on Kiss Anime. If I want to watch about fucking Batman, I have to like subscribe to another DC platform. No, if I'm getting everything for free, why like it's a practical thing. I'm not going to pay for multiple things at once to watch every kind of anime. I'm just
that's
going to
that's why
like
pirated sites are more appealing than subscription services because they have everything that you want all in one site. You don't have to sub to like different streaming services and shit.
and
But yeah,
they're
continue.
basically you stating I would have to pay for it to say it's shit, even though it's already shit. Like you're not like it's basically I don't know the argument term for this, but it's basically like you're right, but at the same time I want to argue with you to show how wrong you are. So I will
Oh,
not explain to how wrong you are. I will just say you have no right to
that
say it's right.
Guys.
that reminds me of a person. That
Okay, so well, what
person
about
that would argue with Mentallic, even though he thinks it's right.
okay? What about those? Okay, what about those people that say that? Why are you watching? If you don't enjoy it, why are you watching it? What about those people?
Like I'm
How
not
are we
watching
gonna
this.
wait? Here's a better argument. How are we supposed to know if we're gonna enjoy something if we don't watch it? I mean,
Another thing,
That's true.
I'll address both of them. Not choose one, right? I'm not watching it, but if I'm constantly hearing stuff about it, am I not allowed to give my opinion? If I'm hearing stuff about it and I check it out or read about it or whatever, am I not allowed to like give my opinion? Like Nansu told me about how Boruto is able to get thousands of years of experience. He was just he just had that handed to him. Am I not allowed to read that chapter and say how stupid of a writing it is? And what were you saying, Silent?
I said, how are you supposed to know if you're not gonna enjoy something if you don't watch it?
That's a good question.
If so, this is kind of like so. I'll say, let me bring this up. Let's say SSS Gridman. No, not even that. I'll say something. Okay, I'll use the more popular example, Jujutsu Kaisen. If people constantly rave about stuff, you would check it out, right? And I've seen people shit on Boruto more than I've seen people praise Boruto, right? But like another thing is, they Jujutsu Kaisen has a certain hook to it. If you saw a trailer, you see these, you see the stellar animation, you see these interesting fights, and people talk about how interesting these fights are. The upcoming anime, this thing called Chainsaw Man, it was already receiving a lot of hype from last year. They say it's a different kind of shonen. And if you and once I got around to reading it, like the Chainsaw Man manga, I've actually found out that it's pretty good. Jujutsu Kaisen, I've got around to watching it, but then I decided to read the manga because of how hooked I was from the very first episode, and I thought it was pretty good. Boruto had a lot of shitty episodes, but another thing is, it's basically asking all the Naruto fans to come back to read this and watch this, and I know I didn't like it, and people say, "Oh, you have to watch like 60 episodes to see how good it is." No,
It's
if
like it's like making an essay. When you make an essay, you have to have a good hook. You have to have something that can get the reader invested in what you're talking about.
and
You don't have
another
you shouldn't have to go through multiple paragraphs to get to the good shit.
yeah, and like another thing that Critical Geek brought up is Boruto doesn't have a story to go off of because the entire story ended with the movie that they did with Boruto. If they like, yeah, like they just ended that entire story with the Boruto movie because the one conflict that you have of Boruto, it got resolved in the very movie, and now they're just making shit up past that. Like they just have to keep bringing in aliens after aliens after aliens to try to get you hooked, but it doesn't work. Dragon Ball Z, at the very least, had a story where you can continue off from. Dragon Ball Z didn't end just like conclusively, it just ended with how Goku training Wu, disappearing once again. And that is where GT picked up. Dragon Ball Super started off from Battle of Gods, but you want, like, you can see Goku training Beerus, sorry, like Goku getting another rematch with Beerus and beating him. And or maybe not even that, but ooh, maybe this is going to focus on Oop this time. There are there are storytelling points where you can continue off of from. Boruto pretty much there is no storytelling point where you can continue off of from that movie because everything got resolved. They didn't even leave it in a cliffhanger note where they were teasing another Otsutsuki or Boruto's new eye. All of this just happened in the anime of Boruto.
I mean,
So how can you continue off of from this?
yeah, like movies like Venom left shit to continue off of, like during like the post credit scene where the Venom burst and like I guess Venom got sent to the MCU and shit. So they left something to continue off of for like a future movie and stuff. Like
Yeah,
you have to have like a cliffhanger or some kind of hint to like a sequel.
even cliffhanger can be a hook. If you don't know how to connect a story with another thing, like even the end of Naruto, I said like Naruto, there's no way they could have done a movie of this. Even Naruto had focused on the father issues of Boruto and Sarada, and all of this got resolved. For Sarada, it was resolved in a manga, and with Boruto, it resolved with the movie. But then they never connected the story after that. So how
And
exactly?
that's why I felt like feel like Boruto as a series is like it's pointless. Like they should have just did the movie and leave it at that because it was the perfect way to end it off. You got to see Naruto as Okage. You got to see Naruto and Boruto resolve their issues. It it's a perfect ending.
And like the one thing people are going to be put off about is the very first episode of Boruto where you pretty much said that yeah, Naruto and Sasuke died, and these are the kind of people Boruto is asking to come back to watch this. So if you're already putting people off, like how people were put off with the fact that, yeah, if people were already put off with the fact that Goku became a child again, and this is the same kind of level of shit, you're asking these people to come back, but then you're putting them off. Where's the hook? Where's the hook, Zan? Tell me,
Huh? What are we talking about?
where's the hook of Boruto? How can
Oh,
you?
Boruto. Oh, hey everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, we're all talking about Boruto sucking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you there. There are certain moments that I very much enjoyed where the animation was on point, but only because of the Naruto generation. But overall, yeah, I would have to agree. It definitely sucks.
Exactly.
I was only trolling. I mean, as if I wanted Kurama to die and the Rinnegan gone. Like, no, they didn't need to do that at all.
But hey, they're giving them the my guy treatment.
Yeah, well, I talked to Shinobi Striker's YouTuber about this. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to nerf both of them because, like, they're already in a position where they weren't strong enough to defeat the main bad guy. Byron mode, I think it's called, was cool.
Varian, yeah.
Baryon mode, that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was cool, and obviously it did the job well. But yeah, they could have left them as they were and like come to the realization that any more enemies like Ishiki that came along that was going to be too much for them to handle. But no, they fucked them, and now we've got Kawaki and Boruto. So I mean, you know,
Yeah, and there is, like I said, if you see something in Boruto that we don't, it's all right. But saying that
Wait, he's a
we
Boruto
don't
fan?
understand anything,
well, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything or anything like that. But I
Okay.
read the manga or
Okay.
oh, we already spoiled it. We already spoiled it. Don't worry. Natsu told me what happened. I decided to look at the latest part of the manga, and then I've told Perfection and Silent about this. It's all right.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's okay. Like, the main story in the manga is like, it's okay. Like, I would watch it. Like, it's semi interesting, but it's completely separate from like Naruto as far as I'm concerned, which is fine. But like, they don't need to shit on the show we all grew up with to do it. Like that's my big problem. And now I've seen on Twitter that they're starting a new filler arc with some guy with blue hair, and it's just so. Oh, fuck's sake! It just.
That's why there shouldn't have been an animated adaptation, anyways, because the manga, it's not like the manga is weekly. It only comes out like once a month, so there's not gonna be that much material to adapt, anyways. But they're just gonna continue with this filler shit.
Yeah.
So,
Imagine doing a weekly series of a monthly manga. Even Dragon Ball Super knew that we can't catch up with this series. We just have to do fillers after fillers, so they just continue to make their own shit up, while the manga did its own shit. And
Yeah. I actually forgot that it was a monthly manga. So that's a very good point. So I kind of get why they're doing filler, but like, let's face it, like when I look at Boruto, all I'm waiting for is when they inevitably like reintroduce like more storylines centered around Sasuke's past and Itachi and stuff like that, stuff that we all love that will save the series somewhat by drawing on the original source material. Otherwise, it's not going to be strong enough to stand alone with this whole. I think the bad guy at the moment is called Code.
yeah,
none of these alien villains are really memorable
Well,
or
it's
are
just
really interesting in my opinion.
it's an arse pull. It's an absolute arse pull. They're pulling in like this new kind of eye, which is like this moon, and with this eye, she can see what everyone is doing at all times, and anyone that goes near her is infatuated with her immediately and cannot bring themselves to kill her.
Wait,
Huh?
sorry to cut you off, but why did you?
Wait.
Why don't you just say it? Why don't you say that she makes people slaves?
Well, yeah, essentially so. You're
Yeah.
right.
So
It's bullshit.
Are you telling me she's basically Poison Ivy?
Stronger.
The same thing.
More stronger, yeah. She can literally see what everyone is doing at all times. And there's a kid that
I'm still doing this podcast.
there's a kid who, if whatever, I'll try and remember this right, but if you attack him with any kind of malice or intent to kill, it's immediately reflected upon yourself. And it's like, when isn't this a show about ninjas or?
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not anymore. It's not what it used to be.
I mean, I get the whole Momoshiki and Ishiki with the karma. I can get on board with that. It kind of reminds me of the Hollow inside Ichigo in Bleach. I kind of like that, but yeah, it's just an absolute arsepool at this point.
Xan, I guess I'll ask you this question. What are your thoughts about the time skip? Like in the time skip, I think Naruto and Sasuke will not be relevant at all. Do you think the series will continue to prosper without them?
Absolutely not. I mean, you would. Well, let me say it this way: they would have to make significant character development in Boruto and Kawaki because I don't mind them both. Like they're both fine, especially Kawaki. I find it very cool and interesting. Like he's holding the series together. So it's possible if they remove Sasuke and Naruto from the show almost entirely and you begin to forget that they're even there, then maybe.
You know, considering how technologically advanced Boruto is, like Boruto's world is, and they're not even ninjas, as Zan said. I don't know why they didn't just hand shotgun to Boruto. Imagine Boruto with a shotgun.
I mean, they don't even have to train anymore. They got fucking ninja tools.
I mean, it's not even ninja tools. They're getting power of 1,000 years. Like they're gonna get battle experience of 1,000 years. So they don't even need ninja tools to be powerful. But which I think is BS, man. Honestly, like when I heard that power up, like I was like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah, there's no need to train anymore.
Yeah.
What was the whole point of Boruto wanting to become Sasuke's disciple?
Oh yeah, and oh, by the way, Boruto's a genius and can use all the elements. Okay,
pretty much.
Sure, why not?
So I want to ask you this, then. You said that you've been following Boruto throughout, right? You read the manga of Boruto?
Yeah, I've read all the manga.
All right. So what is your opinion about Boruto as a character?
Initially hated him. I don't really mind him that much, actually, as he's growing more attached to Sasuke. He kind of reminds me a little bit of a non-emo version of him. So I don't dislike him.
So
I don't dislike him either. I don't really hate him.
But what about like all the juices he got, like overall? Like he's able to do a lot of things.
Oh, it's like I said, it's just an arsepool.
Okay.
But saying that, we don't need 7 episodes of training by a waterfall for him to learn a move. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that.
So you have watched Boruto, and you continue to watch Boruto. So you have passed 2 levels of being able to criticize Boruto. Have you?
I want to make it very clear. I haven't watched Boruto. I have watched a fair few, but if you go through my Crunchyroll and scroll down Boruto, there are so many episodes that I have not watched. Like, I would not say I've watched Boruto.
Okay, but you're also subscribed to Crunchyroll. Like, you're paying for this shit, right?
I was. I cancelled it recently, but yeah, sure. Let's say yes.
True weeb. Okay. Anyways, hey, so sorry to cut you off, better, but I did want to add something to that. So I did talk to the Boruto fandom. I always communicate with the Boruto fandom. So like what they told me was this, that the anime, like if you don't watch the anime, you're not gonna understand the manga because the manga doesn't really explain everything. So it's like you need to watch the anime and manga to understand everything. Like the anime apparently elaborates on what the manga said.
False.
Really?
Okay.
What kind of manga that comes out before the anime would then rely on the anime that comes out after it to to elaborate on things that are unclear? That's sloppy work if they need that to happen.
You know what? Zan might just a minute. Okay, silence going. But Zan might like have failed at the levels of being able to criticize Boruto. But since he's paying for it, or at least used to pay for it, he can now criticize Boruto. So suck on you, Boruto fan.
I don't dislike it, and I will certainly check out, the preview for the next episode to see if it's something I want to watch.
Mhm.
But I mean, ultimately, I think a lot of people would agree. Whether you're just comparing it to Naruto ultimately, and it doesn't stack up. The main thing, obviously, now time has passed and animation is better, so you do get to enjoy better animation, whether it be Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki or Jigen or Ishiki or even that Chidori that Sarada fired off against that big guy. Um, but for the most part, story wise, it's just not going to be, Itachi and Madara and the fourth Hokage and all that kind of stuff. The Akatsuki, it's just not going to be there, sadly. I don't see how they could with
Well,
space aliens.
in other words, this is another Dragon Ball Super, basically.
But
Because what?
no. I was just going to like say this, like because like that's another thing people bring up that if you constantly hung up on Naruto, you're never going to like Boruto. But that's like another thing is these are the kind of people you want people to read, right? Like obviously, if you're going to read Boruto, you have to know some things about Naruto. So it's like you have to be somewhat of a Naruto fan to be able to know Boruto. So why
Well,
wouldn't we like if that is something you're depending on to get back all the Naruto fans? How can you not want them to not be hung up on the series that they loved because these are the kind of people you're bringing?
Well, that's another good point, right? And the way I'd answer that as well to people who would criticize me for thinking that way is at the beginning of Boruto, the stakes were very low, and Naruto and Sasuke didn't necessarily need to join in for the fight. I think they had one fight where they fought the guy with a Sharingan, and that was it. But then it
Yeah.
was like very low stakes battling, and Naruto and Sasuke didn't really need to step in and do this and that. But now it's nothing but like Otsuki or whatever they're called. And it's like global threats. So obviously you have to drag in Naruto and Sasuke because Boruto's not going to do the job. So it's like, the creators of the show are just making you think that way. They're making you compare it in a way because the center focus is the two main characters from Naruto. It's not
Yeah.
Boruto fighting Ishiki and Jigen and Momoshiki and that. They fought, I think their one main fight, other than filler, was that guy, the big guy who spread poison or some shit. Like, if you're going to center the big main fights that are well animated around Naruto and Sasuke, then how can I not compare it to the original Naruto series? You know?
Yeah.
True, true.
And that is the thing is you can't expect us to not be hung up on a series that we grew in love because that's the kind of people you're bringing up. And if you're seeing those characters constantly get shit up, the very people we loved them and we've been in a journey with, and like that's why I draw a comparison from Dragon Ball with Goku and Gohan. Goku was still a main character when they introduced Gohan, and people and they all still had to wait for Goku, and that
Yeah.
was why Cell Saga worked because you've seen this character with immense potential finally unleash it and be able to beat a main villain for once. And
Yeah.
I'm just talking about Cell Saga, not what happened afterwards. But that is what how they did it, like the whole next generation shit, like they did. They handled it perfectly up to that point.
Yeah,
With Boruto, this is the very character you're supposed to attach to after you just completed your journey with Naruto. And now you're saying, oh, you love Naruto now? Well, fuck him, just like this guy, who is basically like Naruto but a genius and
yeah,
also has God in him. How can you like? There are reasons to not like it, and if if it's good to if people continue to want if they want to like it or they like it, that's good on you. But I can still criticize a series, and I can still not like it. Um, yeah, but I'm pretty much done. Does anyone else want to add? Perfection's been quiet for some time.
No, no, I'm actually done. It's been a great stream though. We're around 3 hours now. But it's been a great stream, guys. Thank you for having me.
I'll
Okay, so I'll just continue. What?
I'll add one last thing because I'm going to go. I was going to go anyway, but um, though they've done this and it's not something you could take back, maybe they'll work it back somehow. I do think that they are setting up for a position now where Boruto and Kawaki will be strong enough to take on big bad villains. So
Mm-hmm.
something good could happen soon. I kind of feel it because they know what the fans are thinking. They know you, they know, there's no way around. They know everything we've just said and the reaction people are having. So I think they'll probably set them up to be pretty powerful, maybe a time skip or whatever soon. So it may improve. That's my thoughts. So stay tuned and we'll find out.
I just hope that they finally go to the time skip because there's no way. Like if they think after the thing which Ishiki is just stretching it because you find out there's another character who was stronger than that, but he's like a Notsuki follower, someone we never knew about, and he was just fucking around somewhere else. So I'm just like after they're done with Korn and whoever that pedophile lady is, just just get to the time skip because there's no way I can see this continue past that. It's already a bit of a stretch already.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
my final thoughts on Perfection. You want to give your final thoughts?
I was gonna say, um, they got to be careful about how they're trying to. And I'm just saying, it's obvious they're trying to copy Dragon Ball. They have androids, and that's already a red flag. But I think that what they should have done, again, I've said it a couple dozen times, they should have just reset everything. But going on from here, if anyone should have been toned down or nerfed, it should have been Boruto and Kawaki. Like, I do know I want them to be strong, but when you give someone 1,000 years of experience right up front, at that point, that's just terrible storytelling because there's no reason to watch this character grow anymore. It's like
Mhm.
they're already at the absolute pinnacle of human potential, and in the ninja world, and that's just terrible storytelling. Again, that they're doing this in-game level type of stuff, like giving them in-game power-ups that they waited so long to give Naruto and Sasuke, but they just they're rushing to give Boruto and Kawaki. Each of these villains, they have, in my opinion, a lot of them have good designs. Some of them are trash. But I think the major issue with the villains that they've introduced is that it's poor storytelling, poor world building. Uh, Nothing is cohesive. Like they just don't have good direction all around. And this is just the problem with having someone else come in and write your work. And then Kishimoto comes back, he's disgruntled, and I think that he might be pulling a Vince McMahon right now. He might be trying to inject the lethal injection in his own creation and take out the Naruto Boruto franchise. I don't know. I want it to succeed. Like, I'm a fan of the Naruto franchise in general, but Boruto is definitely the Dragon Ball evolution of this franchise.
Hmm. It maybe I will not say it, but I kind of see where you're coming from. Uh yeah, but here's the thing, and this is my concluding thought because It was supposed to go for an hour and a half, but it's going 3 now. So Boruto is a series that I'll watch for good animation, and I'm not going to watch everything. I'll just watch whatever's trending on Twitter. If it was that good, I'll give it a watch. Because at this point, you're only here to watch for all the flashy shit they do or the stellar animation they pull off. Besides that, I don't see, like, that's what I say. It's all flash, no substance, and I'm not getting any substance from it, so I might as well just see the flash, and that is what, for me and for people present here, Boruto is good for. Now I'll have to like end the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Perfection and Natsu, for joining my stream,
And no
and
problem.
Critical Geek, and Silent, and Zan, and thank you, Lord Triton, for subscribing to me, and anyone who is present in the live chat. I'll see if you like this stream, leave a like and subscribe for more awesome content. This is Masturbator signing off.